All right, session 26. Which family member, living or dead, do you feel the closest to, and why? Does not have to be from the party, but it can be from the party.
Take a wild guess. Taskill, I
was
think
gonna
is
guess
the
Thrum.
obvious answer.
Probably Nolgrim, because he's the only one that ever seemed to back Fergus's plays.
Yeah, Nolgrim will probably mirror that and say Fergus.
Don't forget, you can just make up extended family too.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think Fergus hates most of his extended family.
Yeah, no, it's very logical.
And to be fair, this is probably the longest Nolgrim has ever hung out in a group without, distancing himself to dive into a library or something like that. So
Definitely, that's what he was
Don't
doing.
worry, one day there will be a library RP.
right, holding out hope.
Every game, library RP.
Mhm.
Actually, spoiling it now, I don't think Skull and Shackles has a library.
Yes,
Until we find one and burn it.
we'll make it.
Now someone's going to have the quest
Mhm.
to make
Yeah,
their.
I'm going to have to make a backstory that I want to make a floating library.
Yeah, I was going to say a library ship. That
I
visits the
will tell
pirates
you, though-
and helps educate them.
It's not going to end well in the Shackles because they probably would find you really dumb.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I already made a floating library. I'm good.
You get to create the pirate version of the Scholastic Book Fair.
It's just a pirate ship library that's fighting a Lich Island library. Sorry, Loki. So Nolgrim was Fergus, and
Yeah.
what was his reasoning? I missed that.
Probably just because he does have, close ties to that household, and this is probably the longest he's ever been with really somebody he perceives as a friend in one setting. He's more of a reclusive person, and now he's kind of forced out of that habit. Can't really think of a concise way to say it, though.
Mushy gushy feeling stuff.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, there you go.
So that just leaves Taskill and Thrum.
Taskill's wife makes really good stew. It's weird that that's the answer from Thrum, though.
Yes. Actually, Thrum's answer is Brazic Bronzepike. That was his brother and Fergus's father. And it may just be coincidence that both Thrum and Brazic hate Fergus.
Was that seriously your bonding moment?
No, he never bonded with his brother, but right now he feels closest to him.
Which is funny considering that according to these questions, a while back I asked what was your happiest childhood memory, and Thrum's answer was exploring tunnels with his brother Brazic.
They always picked on him.
Now, who's the bigger brother as he grows into rock form?
Yeah, and Brazic's dead, isn't he?
Yep.
Yes.
So nanny nanny boo boo.
Just leaves Taskill.
As he does love his wife, Beatrice. Freya's probably a close second. Fergus is growing on him as he's seeming to learn a bit more worldliness and caution about our enemies. Especially that, moment where he killed the witch on that island. Hag. So there's the top three.
All right, here's a gun with one bullet. You have to kill someone. Who you?
Ooh, when do we get that question?
I don't want this to turn into a Grix situation where I ask that question and everyone's like Grix.
I was gonna say.
I mean,
felt
to be
like we
fair,
had
he
that.
made him so hateable.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
It was really good.
Of course, it was completely. It happened naturally, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Because as a consequence of not knowing how to play the game, and also knowing that system was supposed to be high lethality.
Yep. No,
So initially I was like, yeah, let's just get this dude killed, and then he did not die.
I mean, he
As hard
almost
as we
died that
tried.
the one time he got into a car and then remembered he couldn't drive.
Then he
One time
kind
he
of
actually-
became
he
anti
actually- The time he actually died when he lit the bandolier of bombs on himself.
Kept
By the way-
burning those save points.
Sidetrack. Every time I think of that scene with Grix stealing the car, I just think of him as like turning the car and he's like, I didn't think I was gonna get this far.
Well, no turning back now.
Well, it was so funny too because like the action economy was working out really well, and Michael was getting such good rolls up until that point. He literally leapt from the back of a moving car onto another moving car, shot the driver, pulled him out, and got in. It was such like a badass Die Hard moment. And then, by the way, are you proficient in ground vehicles? No. Give me a
I
roll.
don't know how to drive a stick.
And that's a 90. You jackknife and flip the car. All right. While we're finishing up reminiscing on happy memories of maim and bloodshed,
Mhm.
we will return to our scene here. So let me put on some tunes. You guys should be on the world map right now. I didn't forget this time.
Yep.
There we go. So, where we last left off, Thrum is currently hanging out in the Druid Grove, receiving some training. Meanwhile, I believe it's everyone, except for Taskill, was it?
I think
Yeah.
Taskill and Ivy stayed behind.
Yeah, are going off to look for the golems that Fergis found. All right, I forgot to pull up my day tracker, so 1 second here. Had all this time and I still forgot. You can't prove anything. Even though I said that on a recording.
Hey, I'm just not looking forward to it, the day we get to Ruins of Aslan because you have to keep a calendar going on that one.
Oof. I just keep track of the days just because, you know, if I say it's 3 days, then we know, as well as the fact that it's going to be kind of fun to look back on like how long in game it took you to reclaim Dammerhall.
Yeah, you actually might want to look at that one link I sent earlier while you're figuring things out. It's that one that's basically like a free version of World Anvil.
Mhm.
I think it has like a day tracker and stuff in there. So,
Nice.
but anyway,
Yeah. So Thrum is currently training. You guys are making your way through the Elven Woods towards where Fergus found the first golem here. How is? I mean, it's just the young folks out right now. So how's everyone's spirits? How are you feeling after spending, I think, close to a week in this Elven forest?
better now that I've had a bath.
I think Nolgrim's gradually becoming unnerved by the constant sightings of undead.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of hanging out, looking at them before disappearing.
I appreciate the golems, but I just wish there weren't so many elves around them.
Yeah. This day of travel in this hex here for you guys, because you have to go slower, because Fergus could go faster on his own, but with all you have to do 1 hex a day. But the weather is pleasant, cool breeze, birds singing, the usual stuff. Hasn't been a lot of unpleasant days in the Elven Forest so far. Unless you guys are wanting to do anything, we can just go along to the next day there.
Sounds good to me.
All right. And are you guys still keeping watches?
Yeah,
All right.
I would encourage it at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would be like, if you see little creatures with weird looking masks, they're harmless. And I kind of show my little carving I did of them.
Mm.
Looks, I mean, this is terrible, but it looks kind of like this. They're just nonsensical.
Interesting.
They like bells.
All right. On this day, Fergus, you're able to lead them to the clearing where you nearby actually successfully killed the stag.
Mhm.
There was no more of those little chewinga around
Mhm.
here currently, but you are able to easily guide them towards the golem, partially embedded in the ground.
Yeah, this is the second one I came across, but the quickest one to get to. Next day we could probably get to the other one to look at, but I don't know. You guys are the ones with the smarts for this kind of stuff. I'll just go ahead and keep watch.
What would it be to like study it? Would it be an investigation, or
I'm gonna say consulting the visible runes and writing them into like that decoder grid you have in your book is an automatic success. But if there's anything extra you would like to, if you want to know, and I'm not certain what that information would be, but if there's something particular on your mind, you could do an investigation.
Looking at the golems, can I see any sign of what stopped them in their tracks?
Yeah,
or is it just the general
That's a good one.
erosion that I can't tell?
Give me an advantage. It'll be challenging because these were obviously from a long time ago. But
So what roll do you want?
An investigation.
All right.
This is pretty textbook.
I can lend advantage to you if you like. Assisting you.
So I'm trying to recall. At this point, this is lost technology to the dwarves, right?
Well, it's kind of. They still know how to make golems, but Dammerhall was famous for producing a lot of golems very rapidly somehow.
They just don't make them like they used to.
Yes, essentially. What Freya is doing, I don't know if she would have explained it to you or not, or if you would have asked. But essentially, kind of a flaw of dwarves is that, much like material wealth, they tend to hoard knowledge sometimes. So some of the runic combinations, kind of like the alphabets of ancient magic runes, were kind of secreted away. So what she's doing is she's consulting these ancient golems for the runes carved into them, and then putting it into like a crosshatch grid that she has in her schematic books to try to come up with like a cipher to decode them. So then she could start putting her own effects together rather than just doing what she's been doing till now, which is just replicating ones already in the book.
Gotcha.
I guess it's like the difference between ordering a part on, or ordering a computer online, or building it from scratch, essentially.
Makes sense.
With that investigation, it's really difficult to see what exactly got these golems, especially since it's partially embedded in the ground. You do see like a few like cuts, indents into the stone, where maybe like some very high velocity arrows might have gone into it, but they don't look like that was enough damage to have shut the golem down. Working theory, these are very ancient, maybe even dating back to the War of Wood and Stone. But your working theory, though you don't have any proof for this, is some sort of perhaps anti-magic effect was used to nullify the runes in the golem.
Curiouser and curiouser.
Yeah, so you have otherwise no real issue there recording the notes. Thrum, just to touch on what you're doing, it's not super in depth. The druid is having you do a lot of stillness and breathing exercises. He's smart enough to know that having you do things that you might perceive as elfy, you might just have a problem with. So it's a lot of things like he faces you in the direction of the mountains and tells you to stare at the peaks and think about it for several hours. Or has you stand in a stream with like several heavy rocks on your shoulders or head and have you try to maintain balance. All the exercises he's teaching you are mainly just to see how long you can stay still and calm without losing your shit.
Smarter than he looks, but can he teach me how to raise my X-Wing out of the swamp?
No, but he can teach you how to Dougie.
No rules or wrong answer here. How would you say, in or out of character Thrum is taking this kind of training?
If you were standing 50 feet away,
Mhm.
60 feet away, you'd think, oh, he's taken really well to this. But if you were standing 4 feet away, son of a bitch, this water is cold. Why am I standing in the cold water? This can make me any better. I don't think this can do anything.
That all sounds about right. Moving back to the golem hunting expedition, you guys start moving, but end up having to set up camp for the next day. So let's see here. Upgrade the tracker there. All right. Hey, day 230 of the expedition.
Joy.
Mm-hmm. So according to the camping notes, judging by your order, it looks like you guys would be Freya, then Fergis, then Nolgrim. All right.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So Fergus, when your watch is coming to the end, it's your turn to go wake up Nolgrim.
I will say before we continue on, I forgot to update the camping notes, but I think never mind. Carry on. I thought I saw something wrong. Never mind.
All right, no worries. And you go, and I assume you just shake and wake up Nolgrim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nolgrim, when you wake up, you roll over and you look up. You don't immediately see Fergus shaking your shoulder. You feel his hand, but you don't immediately see that because you're immediately taken in by the fact that you're surrounded by the shades of maybe 8 dead dwarves, like half foot away from you, standing around you in a circle as you were sleeping.
Probably on reaction to that. Bloody hell.
I jump back. What the fuck?
Sorry, you startled me. You'll probably see his eyes just kind of darting around, looking at each of the specters in turn.
Man, you really don't trust elves, do you?
Just new environment, I guess. Just gotta get used to it.
I'm just gonna throw an insight check on him. I don't know what it'd be opposed to, but
I mean that depends. Is how much is Nolgrim trying to hide that he's
half-hearted attempt? That a 15 would certainly pass.
Yeah,
especially with his innate skills of deception is a -1. So
yeah,
even passively doing so.
Yeah, something's going on with Nolgrim.
Yeah, so you've been acting strange since we got into this forest, and I mean, I don't know how you've been since I've been out wandering myself, but something's up here, isn't there?
Yes, I don't know if it has to do with the forest specifically or what, but weird phenomenon.
I mean, I haven't had anything happen ill in the forest. Is this something unrelated to the forest, or is it just like happening now? Do you have any inclination?
Out of character, do the dwarves present look like they all suffered from, say, archer fire or elven combat?
A couple of them do, but
Not
one
all
of them that you see looks like there is a large bite out of like their midsection and hip area, and it's like it's a best I can describe it is much like the latest Pirates of the Caribbean movie, where it's like the parts are missing but they're still functioning as if they were there. It's like just a foot with a gap in between it. And then there's another dwarf that has a long 3-clawed mark starting over one eye at the forehead that goes all the way down their face, neck, and body down to their hip, that just has split the flesh open, and you see the muted red of their innards through this deep cut as the skin peels to the side. Very clearly an animal. and that one is wearing miner's clothes.
For a long time, he'd kind of just be staring at that, just in like, bloody hell, that is fuck. After a moment, he would say, this started happening well after the Cavern of Madness. If it was happening there, I'd be much more inclined to be worried. Not to say I'm not worried now, but I'd be more so for different reasons. Fuck it. I'll live with you. I suspect you have some inkling that the powers I derive are from our ancestors, yes?
I mean, you've made that kind of clear a couple times where you say that you're trying to smite people for our ancestors' sake, and your magic doesn't exactly function like Taskill's, so I can't imagine it's the same.
Aye. And, I mean, you're familiar with the concept of a book of grudges, right? That's, basic dwarven behavior.
Like,
culture.
he kind of shrugs, and you probably have to spend a good 10 minutes explaining what it is, because
he just kind of pinches
he's not
down.
growing up with elves, he doesn't know a whole lot of what it is.
All right. Basically, simply put, it's a list of grievances that were done against a particular clan or nation of dwarves, and it's sort of IOU for vengeance, if you will. Minor, large, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, the whole thing. Well, around. Trying to recall out of character, was that around when we were in the gnomish city that I woke up with that fever dream? Or was it sooner? Okay.
It was because it was when you hit level 3, I believe. So that was in Faster Vault.
Okay. So not too long before that the drow attacked that gnomish city, I woke up just driven to write in this book, and he'd hold up the book of grudges he has, and so I don't know what I was writing. I can't even really recall what I was writing until, I skim through it and feel a particular passage call out to me. But it's a book of grudges that I was compelled to write. And it was odd enough, but all well and good. It gave me the power to help out our fallen ancestors' way of, I don't know, making the power they give me worthwhile, or so they grant me even further boon, I guess. But no, ever since we got to these woods, I've been seeing them in the state that they had passed, and let me tell you, if their name comes up in the Book of Grudges, it's not because they went peacefully.
Yeah. My question is this, and this is coming from someone who isn't a very dwarfy dwarf. These grudges, like, how do you know that what they're holding a grudge against is the right thing to get revenge for? Yes, granted, certain creatures kill them or whatever, but here it looks like, and he kind of motions to like some of the golems, like the golem that she was examining the previous day. Like, I can't exactly say that we were in the right or wrong here. There's a good chance that it was just a battle that there was no correct answer for. How do you get a grudge on something that either was rightly done or has no wrong answer to why it happened?
That is the thing about war, though. Typically, it goes hand in hand with being an eye for an eye. You kill one person, they kill you. I think it ultimately balances out. I haven't really skimmed through this and seen any sort of major detail about this
What was
war.
that old Corsiconian saying? An eye for an eye leaves everyone blind?
Aye, yes, for sure. But
I'm just saying, think a little cautiously when you're getting these grudges. Some of them might not deserve it as much as our ancestors wish it to.
oh, no worries there. Despite the grudges that may be held, I still have my own mind. I still have my own sight. I mean, that's why, when everybody was gearing up to, take on the elven force that surrounded us, I back to you. There may be grudges, but there are other ways to collect on them. It doesn't have to be blood for blood, but there are some that I would say deserve it, especially in such cases where it is such a strong sensation that I cannot ignore it, like as a blue ghost that we met, a month ago at this point? I lost track, to be honest.
I mean, to be fair, fuck that thing.
Yeah, right.
I'm just saying, like, the elves here, as much as they're a little pompous for my taste, largely haven't done anything to us, and if it came down to trying to get revenge against people like this who, while they hold their own grudges, will just lead to more fighting that we do not need, it seems like we might just have to let those grudges stay and just let them pass on whether they want to or not.
And I completely agree with you. And as I said, from what I sensed, or typically if there's a point of grudge, it is, it sticks out to me.
Mm.
I don't want to say compelled because I still have my own free will, but like that blue ghost, once we start entering the wilderness, I just woke up with I think I even had flashbacks that weren't my own, and knew just instinctively how many dwarves it had killed. I didn't have that feeling here.
You might
Even
just be
though-
seeing the fact that war is hell.
That's true. And to be fair, the dwarves I am seeing some show, demises that are akin to warfare with the elves, but it's also, it doesn't seem specific to the area, because I'm also seeing, animalistic deaths, more vicious, that aren't fitting with the way elves do things.
I mean, didn't we hear something about druids and such? I mean, if they can turn into large enough animals, I can't imagine it wouldn't show signs.
That is fair. But again, I'm not feeling the same compulsion towards these elves as I do for the blue ghost, for example. No doubt, if things were to throw down, I would probably feel empowered by one dwarf or another, seen as an opportunity. But it isn't inherently, all or nothing, as it were.
Well, good to know you're not going to go crazy on us anytime soon. I mean, we already have enough of that with Thrum.
Fair. But it definitely isn't a good sign that I'm seeing specters, even though I don't know if they are hallucinations or properly ghosts.
I mean, if you've been seeing them around, they're like, has anything repeated itself, or they all seem different?
Gombo?
The current six, or did I say six? The current couple standing around you is the largest group of them you've seen, and you do see two that you have seen before here.
Some seem familiar, some are new. But again, this only happened about a week ago or so. So they're all pretty new, but I do see some familiar faces.
Well, this is beyond my pay grade, but if you have any issues that we could figure out on our side as well, I'd be happy to help you. I mean, again, I will say you and Freya have been backing my plays more than I expected, and I appreciate both of you for that. It's no small secret that my past isn't exactly the most legal of behaviors. I mean, one doesn't get good at picking locks to, do things honorably.
Fair, but it definitely comes in handy, so I'm not complaining. If it starts to become a problem, I'll be sure to let you know.
Yes.
And I hope you do the same if I start acting more erratic or off than usual. Again, these specters largely seem to leave me alone beyond the haunting gazes that just seem to stare at me. Are they still there?
Oh yeah, they're still there. Fergis has fully passed through one without noticing.
He's like, give me a second. I'm going to try something that may or may not help.
Right.
So Gombo, I'm gonna pull out the Misty Flute,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna use it to cast the spell Calm Emotions, and just like
Okay.
through the area, see if it helps him with the sights of these things.
Let me think about world building here. How will this work?
And it says it can be this music can be heard on the ethereal.
Yes, yeah, it could definitely affect the ethereal plane, so that's not an issue. But I'm
Yeah.
just thinking about the disposition here. Because I actually do have written down what all this is. So I'm
Yeah.
just thinking about how everything.
I just figured it makes sense for me to try this, and
Mhm.
calming emotions of people who hold grudges might do something, might not.
Yeah. So as Fergus plays this soft flute music, it emanates out from it. It's very interesting listening to it, Nolgrim, because you hear it, but it also you can't help but like shake the feeling like the sound of the music itself is passing through you as well. Give me an insight at advantage. As you're probably also feeling your own emotions calming a little bit.
You weren't kidding about your insight.
Yeah.
Nope. I told you.
Yeah, the shades are still there. Their expressions were very passive before, and that hasn't really changed. Though you under the effects of calm emotions, assuming that you're not actively fighting it,
No.
you don't have your own kind of panic and discomfort clouding your judgment. It's not a traditional haunting, if that's what you were worried about. You can kind of collect that much on an 8. But that's pretty much all that happens.
Well, I'm feeling more at ease, but they're still lingering about. But at the same time, they're not really doing anything but standing, waiting perhaps. I don't know.
It was worth a shot, but hopefully it at least gives you some peace of mind for a few minutes.
And Gombo, did you say grudge blades were a thing, like an actual
Yes.
group or something beforehand?
Yeah.
In that case, Nolgrim would kind of say that there is a history of those that seem to fit my demeanor, as it were. Those that, as far as I understand, act as judge, jury, and at times executioner to collect on the debts that are owed to our people.
If you want,
how
you
they're
can give
done.
a history at advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You know for a fact that there are other grudge blades out there, but you are the first new grudge blade in about 300 years. As you can imagine, the number of other grudge blades out there have been dwindling due to their profession. In Skype, I jokingly referred to you as the Ancestors Hitman. That's essentially the truth of it. They're not like Jedi or something. There isn't so much an order as grudge blades as much as they undergo the same rituals you underwent. And then they are just kind of sent out into the world to settle scores. With a 26 on your history, you're remembering to your own ritual with your clan's head priest of Father Mountain and the Longbeard, which let me check the handouts because I actually forgot his name, but I sent you a note. Yeah, Tyrus Tempersteel, the Longbeard of Clan Hallforge. It was stated that now that you're a grudge blade, you are burdened by the expectations of your ancestors, which you thought was perhaps kind of poetic talking. But as you kind of mentioned to Fergus just a moment ago, you look back at these shades and you realize that they are waiting. And you look at the one that had a massive claw mark and you realize it was about the same size as the claws of the blue ghost that raked out at your family. It would appear that maybe you've started seeing the shades of the grudges that are unsettled and that they are waiting for you.
Imagine Nolgrim will probably be musing aloud a good portion of that stuff. Just kind of lost in thought as he, went down memory road. Sorry, got lost in thought there. Yes, as I said, I do what I can to appease the ancestors, but I do not do so recklessly.
Well, in my opinion, ancestors be damned, but, we got to go about our own lives now, but not going to stop you from doing anything you need to do.
Maybe times you should, if I start again acting. Zealotry is never something that I think fondly of, and I do not see myself going down that road, but if I do, and I don't realize it, please let me know, so I could do a little bit of introspection.
Yeah.
This is getting a lot more real for me all of a sudden.
Really just try to do better than what's expected of you is really what I've been told in recent years. If you can at least put in the effort of being better, maybe things will work out, and then maybe the grudges will start fading as, we make our own people better again, that you don't have to worry exclusively about solving every grudge, just the grudges that really matter.
It's worth a shot. I imagine there's some sort of payment that's needed, though. Again, that doesn't inherently mean blood.
It's late though. I'm hitting the hay. He just falls.
It's probably enough ghost stories for you off the bed.
Yep. So Fergus heads off to the sack, and you sit down for your watch. Nolgrim, the shades aren't going away. They just turn to watch you as you sit down, not really moving, just turning. And as you kind of pan the forest, you see in the foliage there's at least another two watching from a distance. You can't quite make out their features, but you see them. And with all your rolls and your talks with Fergus and Fergus saying about, making people better and eventually letting stuff go, I want to ask you, why did Nolgrim become a grudge blade originally? Because it's definitely something you choose to see if the ritual works.
You'd have to think back to that, but...
Does he hold a grudge?
I think he has a sense of duty to his people, especially, having been such a history buff and so keen on the way things were, that he feels driven to bring back those glory days. And no small portion of that is to, carry on the legacy of the ancestors to bring back what was lost.
Yeah. So you're thinking about those original reasons. And I imagine being the first grudge blade in 300 years, you were pretty stoked when it turns out the ritual worked. Because for most people, it's just a dud. It's not like it's leap. And you're thinking about Fergus and how you've backed his plays for change and cooperating with people that's very different than the original ancestors. And you do know one thing that you didn't mention to Fergus. It's the main difference between a warlock and a cleric. Is that a cleric, like Taskill, can choose to abandon their faith, stop praying to a god, and walk a different path if they wanted to. But because of the grudge blade ritual, you've taken a small nugget of the ancestors' collective power into yourself. That power flows from within, not from without. So you are bound upon this path for, as far as dwarves know, forever. And as you look around and you see the dead faces of all the shades that are waiting for you to settle their scores for them, it might really dawn on you for the first time the weight of that responsibility.
Yeah, that definitely follows. He'd probably spend pretty much the entirety of his watch just considering that and reminiscing over that.
All right. So, the next day when the sun's rising, you're all walking along through the forest.
The
Okay.
the gamer in me is saying, "Let's go south to explore this." And
I mean, do you want to? I'm not going to
I
stop.
mean, we can just hit him as we come back, can't we?
that's fair.
Well, actually, we can actually. I say we go south and then hit here, and then on the way back we can hit those
yeah.
2 empty ones.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
I have a problem too. It's not just you.
All right, just making sure.
No, I didn't go that way last time, but I mean that's half the fun, isn't it?
See if we could find another golem down here. We found a hot spot area.
Mhm. Yep. So you're walking along. Fergus is in the lead. And as you're walking on your third day here, you all hear kind of like an avian screech from overhead. Not like an abnormally large one, but as you look up, you see that there are 2 snow white barn owls flying through the air overhead, and gripped in their talons is a long bundle that seems to be wrapped in a kind of fur. And as these 2 owls that are clearly working as a team fly overhead, they drop it right over Fergus.
Yeah, I'll catch it.
Yep. As your hands wrap. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say as I catch it, I'm like, wow, they weren't kidding when they said that they'll find me.
You immediately recognize the outside of the bundle. The fur that it is wrapped in is the fur of the ether stag.
Mm-hmm.
And as you unwrap that, it is not just like a random covering. It looks like the underside's been stitched in with wood elven silk. The actual bit of fur itself could be used as a sash either around your waist or across your chest. It has no mechanical benefits other than, hey, it's a fun trophy from a character moment. You right?
Yeah, sorry, I just had a cough.
Yeah, no problem. Wrapped within the bundle, however, is this. I will show all players. You should see that handout now.
Mm-hmm.
The italicized part at the top is the description.
I'm still reading it, but I was gonna say I was half expecting you just to spite me because I've been looking for a longbow. Doesn't make it a short bow.
No, it's a longbow. I'm not gonna be an ass.
I mean, it would have been funny. I couldn't have argued with you. You did it because it would have been funny. But yeah,
just Fergus screams "son of a bitch" so loud that freaking Thrum squatting in a river goes, eh.
Figures.
Yeah, it is a longbow made out of the antlers of the stag, and everyone should be able to see its ability there.
Nice.
That's very nice.
Just to strip away the mechanical thoughts of it, thematically, it's a bow that shoots through walls. So just put that in your head when you're thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a freaking.
And basically, you could essentially make it like a ghost touch thing if you're shooting into the ethereal plane.
Exactly.
Nice. Kind of look at the other 2 that are traveling with me like, well, can't say they don't deliver. 2 days of your money back, I suppose. And kind of just sling it over my shoulder and begin the attunement.
Mm-hmm. And it's also cool because the string is only there if you want it to be.
Nice.
Let's see.
Anyone want a short bow?
Silence on the range.
Yep.
Good.
Taskill, what have you been doing in the Elven City while this has all been going down?
Largely being bored when I can't borrow their forge, I'd imagine. We've got the diplomacy on the way. Now we're just waiting for one of the 2 groups of people to show back up.
Yeah. All right. So let's move it on to the next day, though. I don't want to have an entire session of you guys being separated and waiting for everyone else to finish. So, all right. On this day, you guys reach the next golem, no problem. Still no sign of your little forest friends there, Fergus, but
I imagine they take exception to the other people traveling with me. I mean,
it's
I would.
It's impossible to know. You are Freya. You're easily able to find the more runes on this golem for you to fill in.
Maybe the deer was just an asshole and they wanted to help you get rid of him.
He kept eating their shrubberies.
The knights who say knee were out of town. Freya, it looks like with this golem, you're able to complete most, if not almost the entire code cracking crosshatch in your book. And as you kind of finish it down and you are able to look at this rubric, you now have a greater understanding of how these dwarven runes work, what's their limitations, and what they're capable of doing. So you could potentially start making some of your own things. Let me share with you a boom. All right. Can you see that, Michael? You're muted.
Is he muted?
He's muted.
Is he asleep, though?
Oh, boy.
Womp womp.
Bored to death by Nolgrim's backstory. I get it.
Just realized there was a chicken. There was a turkey going gobble gobble in the background of this forest sound effects.
There could be wild turkeys. There used to be a bunch where I grew up.
Used to drive my dog crazy whenever they walked in the backyard.
It's so funny to see them try to fly.
You guys
Oh,
hear me?
yeah.
There you go.
Hey, there he is. Did you get the handout I gave you there?
Yep.
Yeah. So essentially, in addition to the whole additional uses for your magical tinkering, you can pick any 2 first level spells with a ritual tag from any class list, and you can use them as rituals.
That's pretty handy. There's some nice ritual spells.
Mm-hmm. And if you can find either more golems or similar banks of runic lore, you might be able to find more rituals that you can learn as well. Additionally, you think that you might be able to create a larger or perhaps more intricate animated construct like the Steel Defender, but you need to have a better base than these ruined golems are rock. If you could find like a decent sized stone statue or something like that, you might be able to retrofit.
All right. Who we building a statue of?
I don't want a statue of me. I don't want it to talk back.
Statue of Liberty? Dammerhall Liberty?
Statue of dwarfity.
Mm-hmm. Give us your tired, your poor, your huddled masses. Unless they're that poor, then they can go home. Meanwhile, back in the Druid Grove, Thrum, you're currently holding your breath at the bottom of the pond.
He really is.
Yeah,
he is in his own personal hell. Like, this is as bad as it can get for him.
I will ask you honestly, do you think the training is not taking?
How long has it been?
It's been 3 days.
I like to think it's not even training these under there. He's just ready to end it all.
Describing what you described with standing in the water, holding rocks, focusing on that, being under the pond, I'm gonna had my own twist on there that started very much with the water. Maybe then the druid picked up on, maybe I need to focus this more towards the mountains. And I think after a couple of days, he got centered on the mountains, and maybe there was a moment where he was just so fatigued from the last 2 days of grumbling in the water and doing things and not moving that he stopped complaining for a minute. Maybe there was the cry of an animal in the distance, and he had a little moment of, maybe this will work. And then an ant bit him.
I will say, before that ant bites you, you have a moment of stillness where you're just kind of either laying back or like gazing at the far off mountain range, where you feel a moment of peace, that you feel a small, like, little shake through the earth. Like, it's such a low magnitude seismic stuff that no one, not even the animals, really notice. But to you, you suddenly feel it very keenly, and you get another flash of that cave somewhere in the world wound, and the wound that is within it. But it's not as searingly painful this time. It's more, I guess, for a lack of a better term, oracular, where you experience it and then you come back to yourself.
All right.
Okay, now this I gotta see what's going on here.
And I gotta look up. I've got to look up the word oracular.
It just means like an oracle.
Oh, okay. Yes.
The druid in the back yelling at him to pick up that rock.
And I like Thrum because you can hear him. I don't understand why I had to not wear pants for this.
Bears don't wear pants. Get over it.
We
don't wanna
told you to
ship
put your
them, do
pants
you?
back on.
We told you 3 times you can put your pants back on.
Well, you don't want to ship them, do you?
Listen, we don't need to see any of that.
Now that is full circle.
Yeah.
Nicely done, Kenneth.
As you come back to yourself, the druid is there, leaning on his staff, and says, "So how are we adapting today?"
Out of character, I can't remember. Did I tell him about the visions?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
And he's the one that told you that you're getting them because you are getting primal magical energy from the world, from the Earth's wound over there.
Well, I calmed down for a minute there, and I had a feeling from similar to the. Wait a second. Sorry, dry throat.
No problem.
I had a moment where it almost felt like my calmness was echoed by the calmness of the cave, or the cave felt calmer after I felt calmer, or vice versa. I don't know, but maybe it was good.
No, he sounded more like an elf every day.
That's good. You're making progress. When you focus like that and you let go of the anger, the biases, imagining the serenity of the peaks of the mountains, you can gain clarity like that. You're starting to see that.
So how much longer?
Well, to truly master it, the techniques, probably a year or 2 of training would be best, but I suppose since you're in a hurry, I might be able to fully instruct you in the fundamentals in 3 months.
Do you have like a book I can take with me to read about it instead?
No, but you can go around the tree over there. We have a corner bookstore for you.
All right. And he takes a step before he stops and then turns back around.
He's completely deadpan.
That was a druid joke, wasn't it?
I don't know what you mean. Out of character, you've been with this guy for like 3 or 4 days. He's not terribly impressed with dwarves, so it's kind of you guys have kind of established the relationship where you're both just kind of grumpy with each other, but there's enough respect that you are honest in your grumpiness with each other.
Maybe it'll help. Maybe one day I can come back here and devote the time to figure out what the connection is. But right now I'm worried about that little my nephew and the rest of my group. We've got to be getting on with our journey.
You're no prisoner. You can leave anytime you wish. But if you're returning to the Earth's wound, be careful. As you get closer to the source of your distress, unintentional things may happen. But if you're having those visions, it might be where you need to go.
What, you mean I maybe blow up into a giant full of magma rock? Already happened.
More likely your entire body would reach a point of heat where you become a pool of magma and then you simply just dissipate. But who knows?
I'm pretty sure that happened to my third wife. She got so pissed off. That's neither here nor there, though.
Nor mental pictures I wish to conjure.
Nah, she wasn't a looker.
I can see that.
So are these wives subsequent, or did you have a harem that we don't know about?
just Thrum is an ex-anime protagonist.
I mean, we don't truly know what happened to him when he was younger.
Yep.
High school was a wild time for him.
It was a hell of a month.
Just a short, hairy dwarf dude in anime high school.
Exactly.
I would pay good money to see that anime.
Yeah, me too. Honest to God.
Oh, fan fiction.
Where all he does is swear and absolutely hate everyone, but he's still somehow the center of a harem anime. He's actively trying to kill people.
Well, as long as you stay out of in front of any wagons, you might not get reverse isekai.
God, that would be great, man. I have to send an email to every manga artist that ever existed until they block me.
Well, father, priest, I appreciate your time.
Archdruid.
Yep.
Dad? I mean...
What? I don't have issues. You have issues. Storms out. If the day comes, if you survive, you can return.
May Father Mountain watch over you.
Sure. And I assume Thrum gathers up and stuff and takes his leave.
He does.
As you're leaving, you're walking past the treant that guards the grove. You reflect upon your time, your training, the techniques that you were focused on with the druid. And though it might not always be easiest for you, you think you could call upon that kind of calm another time. So I will share you a boon handout. There we go. You should be able to see that one now. Also, I'm going to move the rules for your immolated form into the boons folder. Just for I didn't want to have it just disappear.
Keep it clean.
Yeah, without you knowing what's going on. That's right. The mountain's calm.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Get calm and remove frightened.
And charmed. So
And
that
charmed.
means a lot of mind control conditions are the charmed condition.
Yeah.
So you can give up your rage to gain clarity.
Like it.
All right. So to expedite things a little bit, I assume everyone's just heading back to the city tree.
Mhm.
Because full disclosure, there's not going to be a bunch of random encounters or anything like that. So if you guys just wish to fast forward like 2 days where you're all there, we could.
Yeah, I would like to just uncover these 2 tiles and like the night where we rest, basically right here.
Mhm.
Fergus was going to talk to everybody, the 2 people he's with before he goes to sleep, but otherwise,
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
fine with fast forwarding it.
We can do that.
So I imagine the scene is after like they've set camp and done whatever foraging or hunting they need to do for food.
Mhm.
Everyone kind of gets ready for bed, and Fergus kind of sits there for a minute and realizes that he's getting a little frustrated with the fact that he's still at that stage where he wants to not talk to his family about things.
Mhm.
But it's one of those things that he's gotten closer to some of them where he feels like he has to talk to people about things.
Mhm.
I mean, we've all been there, right?
Oh yeah.
So like in the middle of camp while Freya's getting ready for her watch and Nolgrim is resting, or at least getting ready to rest, you just hear Fergus kind of stand up and like, "Son of a bitch!" He's like, "You too," and he kind of points at Freya, and Nolgrim's like, "Powwow time."
All right.
And he kind of
What
like
do we have to do to powwow?
he just doesn't even acknowledge. He kind of just paces for a couple minutes as he like probably you guys are just staring at him. He's like talking to himself but under his breath, and he's like, "So, full disclosure, you both know that I'm a twin, correct?"
Aye.
Yes. So I may or may not have gotten my brother in prisons before I returned to our people.
Wait, what? Why?
Some betrayals on his part and some bitterness on my part. Yeah, so that might become an issue because from what I understand, the whole lineage thing gets a little iffy. I'm really like, it's funny because Cope was typing in here, but he's like, I bring this up because if he ever does show up, I'm pretty sure Thrum would put all of his support into my brother because anything you could think of a stereotypical dwarf, that is him. He likes to drink, he likes to fight, he likes to beat up things that are different than him.
Is that why you had him arrested before we went on this expedition?
Well, no, to be fair, him and some of my associates of my past set me up during a final job that I was trying to get out of the more lucrative, less legal things I was doing in the past. So he set up to make it look like I was going to take for the fall for everything. So
The fall for the things you did or did not do?
To take the rap for everything I did as well as everyone else in the organization was doing at the time.
So the
I'm not
scapegoat.
completely innocent in the thing. I will admit that.
Right,
I was trying to finish up what I was doing and get out of the trade because I had plans. But before I could, they did that. So I, in turn, ratted them out, exposed where their hideouts were to the authorities, and I got out of town in a hurry.
Wait, was he there with you?
Yes, but he disappeared after they somehow had alerted some guards for this, essentially what was a heist. Mostly just a burglary of a noble. Anyway, so he's in jail from what I remember, but he doesn't seem the type to stay in one. And I kind of left left my fiance back in Corsiconia. And
Wait, fiance?
Oh yes, that's another thing I have to address. I'm technically engaged.
To who? Wait, would it be somebody that would thoroughly piss Thrum off?
Well, she's not a dwarf, so probably.
Okay, I'm even more interested now. Go on.
And he would just describe the woman. It's basically a halfling woman who ran a flower shop that basically was getting him to quit being a criminal and try to live a normal life, and that's why he was trying to get out of the whole criminal thing, and that's why he's trying to be a better person and not just be a chintzy thief.
Mhm.
And he's like, I'm telling you to this whole situation because both of you have backed me more than the other two, and I think I trust you guys more than the others, and the secret can come and bite us in the future, and it feels like somebody should know. Other than me, of course.
So if we see a brother around, we'll have to be on our guards then, eh?
Or just might be the fact that there might be some contention over title of who should rule. Like, Thrum talks about how he saw a vision of me on the throne. My brother does look quite a bit like me. We're not identical, but he's pretty similar. So he might, in his old age, he might have just had a blurry vision.
Well, I mean, you are not wanting the throne for yourself, so if that came to be, would you just yield it to him, or is he the sort of guy that you would be willing to take on the mantle, knowing that if it meant keeping your brother off the throne?
I'm not sure. I don't think he would be good for the dwarves. I can tell you that much. He would not want to ally with anyone other than other dwarves, or if he did, he would want to betray them whenever he felt like it would benefit him. And seems that's how it got us into this first place, where we didn't have any allies to help us during our emergency whatever.
Aye.
So
That's good to know.
A lot to digest here.
Yes.
well,
No, I think it's you spared Thrum a heart attack by your fiance not being an elf. I don't think it's hard to take that.
I mean, I thought it would have been hilarious if she was an elf, just because the way he is, but I imagine that would have caused quite a bit more stir. So,
Well, if you go to deliver the news to him, you could always say it was an elf, and then once he starts to have an aneurysm, say, "Just kidding, it was a halfling." And
I could comment on her pointy ears. That might just give him a little hint of it without lying.
there you go. That way it's not as bad as he expects it to be. So,
Yep. Ease him into it. Terrify him first,
yeah.
and then make it acceptable later. I got it, yeah.
And then you could always say, "At least it's not an elf."
Yep.
So,
So anyway, that's a load off my mind. I'm going to go to sleep now.
well, just know I've got your back.
I appreciate it to both of you. Hopefully it doesn't come to be an issue, but knowing fate and luck, I imagine it's going to at least poke its nasty head around somewhere.
There's some truly malevolent and conniving being overlooking us. At this point, Nolgrim will kind of look towards the screen.
I throw a lightning bolt at him. He dies.
Damn, a clear sky tonight, too. That's so weird. But yeah, he basically just he wanted to get that off of his chest now that he's starting to be more trusting. And he feels like it's some stuff that if people didn't know at least somewhat, it could cause a lot more issues in the future than having only him know it.
It's only seeing dead people doesn't seem so complicated.
Yeah. But yeah, he informs them, and then he goes to sleep for the night, and we can fast forward the rest of the time.
Yep.
And he is not going to tell either of the old people.
Power word kill, essentially.
All right, so you all meet back up at Lawful Lane. You've all completed your little side things. Let me take a drink of water. Yeah, so you can all gather up. You've got some new equipment. I don't know if Fergus is wearing that nice sash that he got there or not.
Yeah, he'd wear it.
Yeah.
Especially when he wants to wear it because it gets cold at night, and there's always those chances of cold spots down the caves. So
So what do you guys want to do from here?
I think we have objective to continue.
yeah, back into the dreary dark we go.
Sorry, unfinished business we need to take care of here. How was your trip, Thrum? Learn anything new about yourself?
Yes, you're looking grumpier than usual.
Is he? I thought he
Yeah.
always looks this grumpy.
Nay, you know me. It was just a fool's errand.
So why you
Nothing
around?
learned, nothing gained. I don't think there is anything to learn or gain up here.
Well, I had a successful bit of adventure for myself, so I'm good to go.
Do we want to say goodbye to
The hunt master or hunt mistress?
yeah.
Wait a minute. Fergus, did you meet a lady?
Huh? I mean, technically we all met ladies here.
Yeah,
I mean,
You all bet the hunt.
I mean, did you get to know one? It's like you're wearing a lady's sash there.
this is my sash, but okay.
Oh, of course it is.
out of character. That's a sash made out of the fur of the animal he killed with his own hands. That's manly shit, right?
Well, I had to make fun of somebody. I've been standing in a stream for 3 days.
He says in character.
Well, I pulled what I needed out of the ground, so I'm ready to go when you are.
So I imagine at least Nolgrim and Fergus would go say some words to the hunt master about them departing and wishing her and her people well. I was going to say one of the things he would mention is while they don't really view trade as the same way dwarves do. If it gets to the point where the dwarves retake their kingdom and stuff, he would basically suggest the idea of an open offering to exchange craftsmen to basically train under each other to kind of learn more of each other's people, and maybe not lead to wars in the future or anything, as maybe a better understanding will lead to less aggression on both sides.
She's very polite and cordial about the idea. No roles. You can kind of tell, at least at this current juncture of the time, not super stoked of having an influx of dwarven immigrants into their pristine forest. So.
I would make it clear it'd be like 1 or 2 or something of each that would go, but...
I mean, at this point, you guys are walking into the dark for a trip that no one's ever successfully returned from, so she's probably not putting a lot of weight on that.
No. Basically,
Okay, but how many people have made it this far? Probably
channels open and all that, and say goodbye.
Not as many.
Yeah, but you've earned her respect some from that whole hunting fiasco, so she's less tense. As you guys depart. Was there anything you want to do, or do you want me just to fast forward you guys to the cave entrance?
No, we should clearly get out of here before the cleverly hidden Molotovs go off.
Secretly, Taskill's been messaging Gombo the entire time about where in the city he's placing the bombs.
He just pulls out like an actual radio, pulls out the antenna, and just like begin the operation, and then just jets come by and drop white phosphorus.
We walk away with the song "Cool Guys Don't Look at Explosions."
Sets the field on fire, walks away.
Nothing like war crimes in the morning.
That's what they get for giving us the benefit of the doubt.
Trust is for babies. I learned that from a 7th grader.
Now to go see if our mushroom friend is still alive. Kind of left him in a hole for a few days.
You think he only needs water to survive? So.
Actually, can we take a quick bio at this point?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of water.
Ooh.
I try not to make a habit of fast forwarding you guys through days, but you're not getting many random encounters in the Elven Woods, and it's just one of those things where you get to the meat.
Yeah, there's no reason for us to go through 3 days of tiles we've already explored.
Yeah.
And since no one wants my short bow, I'm just going to leave it at the entrance of this tunnel.
Yep, that's fair.
Because it's just a short bow. I'm not going to hold on to it for selling or something.
I got the Gloomstalker, man.
Yeah, you're good.
As I said, I had to do a lot of work to actually fill the Elven Forest with some content. I don't know why they made order of the book 2 map basically nothing. That's just such wasted space.
Yeah, probably. This is probably around the time they were like thinking about just getting out of Dodge. Because didn't they only go to 2 books?
Yep.
Sounds about right then.
They gave a summary of what the events of each book was, and I'm taking some of that, but I'm also adding my own, and I'm slightly rearranging some stuff.
Because didn't they? I was forgetting. Don't you like not get to Dammerhall until like book 5 or something?
No, you would get it literally right after you finish this one. Which I kind of found funny because the way they described it in the summary, it sounds like you go from wandering you barely get into the wilderness and then you bump into the secret door. I'm like, well, then why did no one find this?
Also, why make this big ass map if you're going to wander into it right away?
Yeah, exactly. Also, as I said, they started kingdom building after you saved Faster Vault, which was way too early.
Yeah.
Because for me, not only is that way too early, but also once you're a person with troops and stuff, why are you not marching around with a passel of henchmen if you're running an actual kingdom? You know.
Mm-hmm. They explain it a little bit, I can't remember exactly because I haven't really read anything about it, or at least not too much. But I know Kingmaker has issues why you guys wouldn't be having people just traveling around with you. Granted, most of them are probably not going to be able to handle the stuff you can handle at that point. But.
Yeah, that's always the assumption. But there should be good reasons why you're, if you're the king, why you're leaving the castle to go deal with something yourself rather than, doing what the NPCs do and hire adventurers to go do that for them. Why are you the one getting off your ass? Skull and
broke as shit.
Yeah, Skull of Jackals kind of gets around it on the fact that it's the pirate ship crew, and there's only 20 of us outside of the players, and we need to man the ship as well. And if you take the leadership, we've got a whole heap of named NPCs a part of the crew that can totally come with you. Because when your crew is 30 people, 5 PCs is a substantial chunk.
Yeah, they Runelord's next book has stuff if these characters show up at this time and you guys if you wish to have your party have the leadership feat available, I'm like, God no, not with this many animal companions.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very fair.
What I missed? We're doing a full druid game?
Returned and no.
Wait,
Michael, it has to be
Michael,
only
hear
one
me
of
out.
them would.
You are a player this time.
Yeah.
I will guarantee we never play another druid game again, because if you guys play druids, I will not GM, and if you guys play druids, I will not play a druid.
I do like the idea of playing a AP or something with all a certain class, but it would have to be if you did druids, only one person have animal companions and the other one choose to obey.
I'd like to see an all force thing where it's limited to druid, ranger, nature cleric, all that kind of theme. That'd be fun.
When we get to the circus one, I kind of want us to just be a 5-man band that is part of the circus.
You could absolutely do that.
Yeah, Pathfinder 2nd Edition I hear would be a good one for that, because they really diversify beyond class.
Mm-hmm.
But just how great would it be? You're in a circus and you're just a heavy metal band, drums, guitar, bass.
Very confused town.
That might be the only way I'm okay with the circus.
It's coming one way or another.
And even if it doesn't go that route, that might be my end to the circus. Is I'm the one person band or something instead of having to be a clown.
Well, you
You
don't,
don't
have, to
to be a clown.
You don't even have to be a performer. They give you options to be like the people that set up the circus or just distribute meat to the crowd.
Distribute meat to the crowd. All
Get
right.
your meat here.
Yeah, it's a medieval festival, dude.
Yeah.
Of course
So-
you got your mutton.
And it's great because they have like a bunch of skill checks and stuff for like how good your performance is, and even if you're not a non-performer, you still have actions that you take to boost the show. So it's
Yeah, I might go beer seller.
yeah, absolutely.
Get
That's
your
100%.
cold beer here.
It's 100% you can do that, and that's why I very much enjoy it because it's very flexible in that regard. They give you NPCs, so if none of you want to be performers, you can still put on a show.
Yeah.
One of my personal favorite things is that basically you're doing like these performance checks, and once per circus performance, if you fuck up, you can take the action send in the clowns, which lets you do a reroll as you just send in clowns to distract people from it.
What's this for?
The circus AP for Pathfinder 2nd edition.
I have 2 comments. One, at a baseball game, they were selling actual turkey legs, like you see at the medieval games kind of thing. So I got one because I got to try that. It was terrible, and I like turkey. It was. I tried to take one bite, and I don't think I ate any more of it. It was awful.
Yeah, you got the authentic peasant experience.
I did. I really did. I was like, this meat is dark brown, black, and just not right. And then second, I took my family we went to Disney on Ice, and we're sitting there beforehand, and my daughter was 3 or 4. I don't remember how old, but the guy walks by with cotton candy, and can we have cotton candy? Yeah, we'll get some cotton candy, sir. Can I have cotton candy over here? And then as I'm pulling out my wallet and he's taking one down, I said, how much? And he goes, $16. And I said, oh no, I just want one. I don't want the whole rack. And like everyone in the arena started laughing because the show hadn't started, and they all had to pay that much for fucking cotton candy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's insane.
Concession prices are nuts, man.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, look, the only thing you really missed, I was saying that when we get to the Circus AP in 2nd edition, we should try to do a 5-man band party.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Just all
We've been
bars.
talking about the band party for so long. We've got to bring back
That
band.
that seems like it would be the best one. You don't even have to be a bard.
Which campaign did you say?
The Circus 1 Extinction Curse. It's the AP.
Oh yeah. I'm down.
Okay, I'll be working on my Jack Black NPC.
Time to sing some Kickapoo.
Totally. I could see a barbarian using a guitar as an axe.
You could do a multi-class and basically make it a scald, really.
Yeah,
That's a good
very
idea.
flexible in 2nd edition like that. In fact, I'm pretty sure there's musical archetypes, so you could still technically play a wizard, but play music like a bard.
Also, by the time we get to there, they're going to have so many classes and archetypes and everything added.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
No, I'm pretty adamant on playing a druid, but it shouldn't be too hard for me to come up with some sort of
Musical
instrument you'll
druid.
play. Yeah.
I really like because the AP introduces knife jugglers, which is fun as an archetype, because it essentially allows you to hold 4 weapons at once just by juggling them, but you can still attack with each one individually.
There we go.
The druid
if they have a swarm option for animal companions, just a rack full of various types of birds, and you just point at them.
God. I was gonna say you could have your druid could run the dancing bear for the band.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm definitely planning on getting a bear as an animal companion.
Yeah, I remember. I need to look it up again. But there is a archetype in 2nd edition called Beastmaster, which is all about animal companions. What's interesting is that you have multiple animal companions, but you don't divide levels between them. You can only have one out at a time, but you level them all up as once. So you can just, outside of combat, go, I want a bird for this one, and then your bird flies in, and your bear smoke bombs away.
So, Pokemon trainer.
Yeah. We'll get the RPG someday, Richard.
Could also do like a
We're
dirt
just taking
stance.
it easy anyway, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about it.
Anyway, I found a druid bard picture before we get back into things.
Oh, Yep. I was actually thinking drums for the druid, and that's pretty much spot on. I'll save that to my library. And saved. He looks adequately hippie-esque, too.
And then to counterbalance it, one of us can be this guy. Anyway, back to our game we're playing now.
Nice.
And there's Jonathan Black.
Yep. Also, I'm just going to say, out of character, Loki, with you saying that you want a bear animal companion, I see what you're doing. I know that you played the first part of that AP. I know that you know the part I'm thinking about, and I know exactly why you want a bear animal companion.
Well, to be fair, that was my backup character after mine died in session 1. But so it fit nicely. But yeah, no worries. I'm going into it not.
I read that encounter. I know its difficulty. I know exactly why you want a bear.
That's not why, but
it
definitely would have come in handy. But no, that's not why. I just like the druid mechanics in 2E. But yes, that was a beast of a thing. Almost got a TPK out of it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's tough when I, who have never actually played 2nd edition, I'm like, wow, that's a tough-looking encounter. Anywho, back to this. As the sun is fully setting, as you guys reach the side of the mountain cave again, and as darkness descends, you see a figure peel himself away from the wall, and it is Miku.
Hey, you're not dead, friend.
He releases his communication spores and says, yes, the skeleton did not reanimate itself. I have been unharmed for this time.
Well, let's move on under. I'm sure Ivy has a lot to share with you about the sun.
Did we ever establish any theories on who we think animated the skeleton?
The old wizard upstairs, essentially.
Ah.
The one that owes you a favor.
Does he owe us a favor? Because we never found that
owes
thing for him.
Freya a favor.
Okay.
After I robbed him blind.
Yep.
Which I have not called in because I want there to be a dramatic moment, because I'm still not entirely sure if it's just complete bullshit and nothing's going to happen.
Never know.
But he is a very powerful wizard.
You call upon him and he just completely forgets he owes you a favor. Like, what? Why am I here? Who are you?
Just don't do the Beetlejuice thing and call his name 3 times, because then we're really in trouble.
That's literally
I think
how
that's
he
exactly
said.
what you have to do.
Yeah, he said, call my name out loud 3 times and I will come. It's literally what he said.
I didn't remember that, but that's hilarious. Was there any issues at the cave mouth, Miku? Was there anything that, other than the undead skeleton, anything else poke its head through here?
No, I did not see anything come towards its entrance, but I did little scouting. I did see smoke coming from the jungle within.
Which direction? And I would ask him to kind of point out the direction as we walk and kind of head towards the site.
Yeah, just kind of vague the jungle, because he said it appeared in a couple different locations over a few days. Not large. Perhaps a campfire.
I was going to say, Thrum's going to get down and welcome himself back into the Underdark and do his primeval awareness.
You are drow-free currently. Or elf-free in general.
Okay.
Might want to keep that up every now and then to make sure that no one's poking their heads near us.
It was painful to do it back in those woods, but I will keep it up every morning, noon, and night.
Did we ever count the amount of bodies we found of humans? Did any of them make it out alive? This is me questioning you, Gombo.
Yeah, none of them. They were all accounted for.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, shall we march on? Do we have a direction we wish to travel? I know, like, we were looking at... Didn't you say something about this direction is what we're aiming for?
Out of character, I'm trying to recall. So are we passing through to find a way deeper, or are we looking for something specific?
We're looking for a cave, I thought, or an old mine or something.
Yeah, there is a... According to the gnome's journal that you found, there is a old dwarven mine here somewhere. Thrum has also been receiving visions about a different sort of cave that has been causing him distress. What little that he has seen of his visions, he could confirm that is most likely not a dwarven mine because it looked too natural.
Well, my advice is we stick to the walls and hope we can come across something, because most likely it'll be not in the middle of the forest or the jungle.
Not a bad idea if we head this way.
Then all of a sudden everyone's like, yeah, that's a good idea, Thrum.
Can we skirt past the quicksand area? That little sliver of land?
You can skirt past the quicksand area, absolutely. All right, so let me swap music as...
Before we go, do we need to use this lush foresty area to resupply food, or are we good at trying to look at the jungle in there? The more hostile jungle in there.
Thrum would check in the bag of holding and see if the food, make sure the food hadn't spoiled.
Yep, it's all good.
Systematically, and say, we've got just about all we can carry.
Right.
As long as Taskill is up to the task to keep us well fed.
Not much of a task, I'd say, but a bit of variety helps.
Well, why don't you ask your gods for something different next time? See how powerful they are.
Why does that sound like one of those banner ads you'd put on a city bus? Like, you need a task killed? Call Taskill. All right, so you guys still have to move one more hex into the cave on the next day. So that'll be here.
By the way, out of curiosity, Gope, how does Thrum feel about the fact that Fergis seems to be able to keep pace with him through any kind of jungle or foresty paths now?
It wouldn't be resentment. It'd actually be the only thing he's liking about Fergus so far is that maybe that's light at the end of the tunnel, a glimmer of hope. If he's been able to rub off this little bit in this short amount of time, only about 250 days, imagine what he can do with him over a lifetime in the Underdark.
Just imagine how much you can rub off on Fergus.
Wow.
Sorry, I'm 12 years old.
I mean, it could have been worse. You could have said rub out, and then it's really dirty.
Yep.
There's another ship if we had the right type of viewers.
Listen, I was talking to Richard. He's the one that made a freaking bone flute. So, I'm really trying hard.
Yep.
Yeah, I had immediately after he said that, I had to make a joke to him, too.
Listen, I know I'm taking that Queefstone Point thing to my grave, but I'm trying
Oh,
not
no,
to
we're
have
all
another.
guilty of something like that.
I know.
Until you're dead and buried, Gombo.
All
And
right.
even then, it'll be on your tombstone. Over in the corner where no one will really notice, a small circle and underlined Queef Point.
That's because Cope is the one that will be writing it.
The tombstone will be your real name, the Great Gombo, creator of Queefstone Point.
No, he can have
Lord.
whatever his name and birth and death and some spiritual quote or something over there. But over in the far right corner, really small, you're going to draw a little planet, and underneath it say Queefstone.
Yeah, it's just gonna be my name, my birth, my death, and then my final quote, which was, "What are you gonna do? Stab me?"
I was about to add, this is implying that Cope outlives you.
Yeah, I know.
And he's married with a kid. His lifespan is already cut in
Yeah.
half.
Mm. All right. So this first hex here, this is the day after you regroup with Miku. There's no hazards and no terrains because it's just bare stone. Like Miku said, the dinosaur is still there.
Mhm.
Now on the following day, day 138, which direction are you guys heading? And yes, you can hug the wall here to avoid quicksand.
I say hug the wall and go this way.
Yeah, we investigated a little bit of this side, but I think it's more likely going to be the other direction.
Now that acre has rapid sand.
See?
Yeah. Said.
Gonna move you over
I mean, if every tile winds up being covered in quicksand to get through this thing, it's no wonder people don't go through here.
I thought, wasn't it lightning sand? Isn't that from Princess Bride?
I don't know.
Since we were commenting on Rouse's earlier.
Yeah, probably.
It's there's quicksand and then there's the fire swamp where it bubbles and then spews fire.
Yeah, but there's three things.
Well,
Fire,
those are
sand,
two
and
separate. There's the fire swamp, the quicksand, and the RUSs.
Yeah, the lightning. It's lightning sand. That's one of the three terrors.
Ah.
Quicker form of quicksand.
Mm-hmm.
All right, side to side.
Yep. Moment.
Could be worse. Could be turbo grit.
That sounds like a horrible breakfast.
Yeah,
Get your turbo grits here.
5,000% of your daily dose of fiber.
And
Your
silica.
Brit flavored grits.
Go ahead and grab a seat on a John. You just eat them there, and you're done for the day.
I mean, that's what they do when you're lactose intolerant and you're eating a bowl of cereal, right?
All right, so you guys traverse along the edge of the jungle. However, Pierce, now that you're near the edge here, where the rim of the kind of what's the word I'm looking for? But you know how there's the opening towards the sky above you. It looks like a lot of rainwater has come down the side and is gathering up near the base. So this is a very swampy, boggy area. So map layer that. So it will take 2 days to travel through this hex. Thankfully, you do not have a wagon, so you will not be. You will be able to pass through it. Wagons normally can't pass through this hex. As everyone is traveling, I need everyone to give me a survival check.
Should I roll for Ivy?
Yeah, but not Miku.
I got a 5 on my survival.
I don't know why it's at advantage there, but should be a 3
Okay.
for Ivy.
So, let's see here. Everyone, except for Fergis, over the course of these next 2 days, you're kind of like wading through this water. It seems extra deep to you because you're all dwarves. You have a bunch of leeches that keep biting you and hooking on that you don't really notice until someone else points them out to you. Somehow Fergus is managing to stay above it all. So everyone except for Fergus,
It's my shiny new sash.
yeah, takes 1 level exhaustion due to blood loss.
I keep the leeches. They're good for fishing with.
Do you remember, even at this point in the jungle, it's so warm that we need to not wear armor if we don't want to get stifled? Okay.
And that's just light armor.
Okay. Then
You can always use your Skizrock cloak to
Yep.
wrap around yourself.
Yep, I'll be using that.
And what does that cloak do?
It just counts. You can look at the Skizrock cloak out.
It functions as basically like leather armor.
Okay.
So it gives you some armor. It's just not going to be as high, but you also don't take the fatigue from wearing.
Yeah,
Other
I knew
armor.
what the AC was on it.
I mean, probably the same as if you were just wearing no armor, being a barbarian and all that.
Yeah. 12 plus stacks. Gotcha.
All right, and now I need everyone except for Fergus to give me a Constitution save. Welcome back to the jungle, guys.
19.
I think we're just missing Thrum. Okay, yep. All good. Nothing.
Second day to finish passing through this area.
Yep. All right. Are you guys going to continue hugging the wall?
Yeah.
You're
All right. Just enjoying that farm fresh Missouri jungle. Let's see here.
Oh, I see a pretty sharp corner.
One. I completely forgot to finish up my macros for this, so I have to roll all manually.
Last time we were in this dark of an area, we ran into a bunch of undead dinosaurs. This isn't going to be promising.
I hug the wall. It's the only thing that's going to give you any love.
Oh no, that drow behind you might give you a hug. Deception.
He doesn't look back, but he wants to.
Deception check.
oh shit.
Wasted a 20, but it was worth it.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if you beat him or not. He's not looking back, even though he already said he wants to.
Yeah. You can see the sweat dripping on your brow.
Yep.
All right, so this day, you guys are coming along here, and on the edge of the jungle, you see there looks like there is a pond of water that is surprisingly clean and clear. It would be a pretty good place to refill your water skins, because then you won't have to boil the water to purge it of any infections. Does anyone want to do that?
It was like, nah, that's crap.
Well, not now that you've said that.
Yeah.
Listen, how else would you have me talk to you about stuff, okay? You suspect me of always trying to kill you.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Nolgrim sees this jungle as just trying to kill us in all sorts of ways. So a deceptively good-looking water source is definitely full of something.
Yeah, Thrum's going to do a perception to see if he sees anything fishy in the water that'll eat him
Okay.
before he goes up. Alright, we ought to take a rest here. This is a good spot, clean water.
I don't know what you guys are so nervous about. It's just water.
Walk
I'm
right
just gonna
over
head
and
towards it.
fill my water skin and bend over, lean crouch down right by the water's edge.
I start cleaning my face and try to just get the reflection, start trying to trim my beard.
All right.
Really? And he looks back. Why are the three of you all standing over there? It's just water.
Oh,
Oh.
it's gonna be a giant demon frog. I just know.
All right.
I take it I was one.
25, Fergus.
That will hit me.
Okay. You just got bit by a absolutely huge crocodile coming up out of the water.
Ow.
I will
I
leave
start,
fucking
I start
yeah.
screaming probably a lot more. On the plus side, he probably took a bite out of my beard, so it's going to be easier to trim.
Bit your beard and face right off.
Oh, that's a giant crocodile.
Yes, it's huge sized.
We got like
So-
Nile crocodiles in here.
Yeah.
That's the yeah, it is truly massive. Fun fact for you about crocodiles though. This is not actually considered a supernatural crocodile. This is just an old one. This
Yeah,
could
they're
exist in
sorted.
reality.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no crocodiles.
Although it's interesting, I was looking at crocodiles for skull and shackles. They only get medium as animal companions.
Yeah, that bothers me.
And but you know, if they're not that big unless you get like a Nile crocodile, 20 feet long. But
Or
if those
they
are the
get really
big,
old.
Or if you get a later alligator.
Gosh, I think we've probably talked about this before, but have you guys seen that story about that Nile crocodile they just could not kill?
Mhm.
Threw grenades at that dude. Shot
What?
him.
Oh yeah.
Old crocodiles and alligators are hardy fuckers.
Scariest thing on the planet. Let's see. I think we're just missing Thrum on the
Nah, but let's
initiative
kill this. I fucking hate reptiles.
To say nothing of the
Fucker.
fact that it was 20 fucking feet long.
Where am I? There I am. Oh yes, having a little drink of water.
Wait, that's a natural one?
Yeah, baby. 18.
Oh, it's because you get advantage.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
I feel like every time that happens, one of us says, "What?"
All right. Nolgrim, you're up. That bite was the crocodile surprise run. Also, I'll have you know, I am playing honest here. Thrum, you got a 14 perception. It got a 19 with a +5 to stealth. So
Yeah, 14.
I'm-
Terrible.
I was honest with you. If you had rolled high enough, I would have been like, yeah, there's an absolutely massive fucking crocodile waiting to jump on someone.
Yep. It's
So-
okay. We all knew it was there. When the
Well,
DM
we'll-
invites you to drink water for the first time in 263 days.
Right.
Listen, I'm trying, guys.
Hey, no, I get it. So yeah, Nolgrim will hit him with the hex, not his grudge, but a hex. Doesn't look like there's a save.
Yeah,
so-
I believe it's just up.
And so for the ability will go strength. So he has disadvantage on strength checks.
Okay.
And that was a bonus action, so my standard action, I'll use Eldritch Blast.
All right.
And each of these attacks would do 1d8 more damage because of the hex.
Gotcha. 12 will miss.
Alright, second attack. And another miss. And scatter out a bit. And I'll end my turn there.
All right.
Bloody hell! Look at the size of that fucker!
Meanwhile,
it's got-
Fergus is in its mouth.
Judging by its size, you literally just see Fergus's feet. It's like he doesn't even have room to kick. Man, can't wait until the death roll kicks in. Thrum.
I guess it's the, survival of the fittest as he fills his water skin. And he will grow large with his crazy rage.
Oh,
Going
Himalayan.
molten.
All right. Yep. You can just change your token to that.
Yeah, I'm clicking all the wrong buttons here.
It's okay.
There we go. And trying to find it. Immolated form. All right. So he uses the rage as a free action as he assumes guardian form. Two commandments. All right. So gains 1d10 fire damage. And he can still grapple. Okay, cool. So he is going to try and... In 5e, can you grapple larger creatures?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
how I do the rules is that if you are within one size, you can grapple normally. If it's 2 sizes larger than you, then you can do what I call faux scaling, which is where you're climbing on it, Shadow of Colossus style. So at your size, it's just a normal grapple.
All right, and we are the level where we can do 2 attacks, right?
Yeah.
Feels like it's been so long since we fought in this game.
1 session, actually.
Did we fight in the Elf Town?
You did. You fought the T-Rex skeleton, and then you met them, and then when you had 1 full session of just character RP, and now you're fighting again.
So if I use this, I've never used it before.
Mm.
Can I have 2 hits now. Can I hit 1 time, use my bonus action to grapple, and then use my second attack for something else?
Let me read that. Immediately after you hit a creature with an attack on your turn, you can expend 1 superiority die and then try to grapple the target's bonus action. That's creature. Yeah, so you can normal attack, bonus action, then yeah, because that's how it's designed to go.
All right. So he's going to punch him 2-handed with...
That'll hit.
Hits him. So it damages him first, right?
Yes.
And then 1d10 fire damage.
Yes. Minus 13. Minus 4. All right. Yep. And then you can bonus action grapple if you want.
All right. So strength at advantage with a 1d8 bonus to it.
It has disadvantage because of the hex, correct?
I think on strength checks and skills that rely on it.
Yep. So
is it normal hex?
I get advantage because I'm raging.
Yeah, I'm asking Loki. This is him.
Oh.
Sorry, what was that?
Your hex. It gave him disadvantage on strength skill checks, right?
Strength ability checks, yep.
Okay, so he has disadvantage on this.
Oh gosh. Versus advantage.
So you succeed. You got a 14.
Okay. So would it be possible with the 2-handed blow come down on his head with the grapple, wrap around the alligator's top jaw, and with my second action, open it up and pull Fergus out?
Yeah, I would say that will be another opposed athletics check.
Okay.
Because you're just kind of
Crocodile
doing it.
cope. Alligators don't get nearly this big.
Sorry, crocodile.
So I will give another.
Steve Owen here, crocodile hunter.
So it got a 7. Let's see if you can beat a 7. Oh my god!
2 nat 20s. Come on.
Freaking roll your fire damage. You're adding that to it as well. As you're doing.
Right now, I'm imagining Thrum trying to pull Fergus out, much like a pet owner trying to pry the food out of
Oh
the
yeah, and
dog's
you
mouth.
would get my grapple damage too. So that'd be like another grapple maneuver, right?
Yeah.
Which provokes all this except for shards. You already got fire, so this roll. Well, 1. Wow, sexy.
Well, still, every little bit helps.
So 6.
So, yeah, you guys see Thrum, basically, who is down filling his canteen as this water skin. Sorry, as this giant croc comes out. He just sighs and he sets down the water skin, and he freaking just enlarges and catches on fire. He like Captain Kirk double fist punches this thing's head, and then puts his foot on its back and holds its head up as he opens up his jaws, and with one hand just reaches in, grabs Fergus, flings him back, and just impacts lightly on some trees. Just the steam is rising up as one foot is in the water and this thing is kicking around.
And with his gravelly fire voice, you can't really tell, but what he's saying is, I had a thing with these suckers, these porkers. You just gotta treat them like big dogs.
Though Thrum has not shared anything that the druid has said with any of you, you definitely do have that moment where you're like, man, Thrum seems really weirdly equipped to live in this place. So, Freya.
All right. Let's see. I'm going to draw out a path and ask you if this works. Is that legal?
It's legal.
Okay. Then, in that case, I will... What's reach has this thing got? I don't know what area it threatens.
Looking at it, its bite is 5 feet, but its tail is 10 feet.
All right. So then I could move there, and as long as I stay there, it doesn't get the attack, right?
I mean, on its turn, it doesn't. You could do a tail attack, but not right now.
It doesn't get a reaction.
But if I move from the space, I would provoke, right?
Yes.
If you move away from him, if you move
Oh,
closer,
You
it
move
doesn't.
away. You can move within his reach all you want.
So, question, Gombo. My form gives all creatures smaller than me within 10 feet lightly obscured condition. Does that hide him?
It would give Freya a small bonus to. Let me double check out what lightly obscured is, but that would affect Freya.
All right, and then I'm gonna cast Fairy Fire. Big man over here.
Let's see.
And I don't know 5e, so if lightly obscured screws y'all. I'm sorry.
all that lightly obscured, dim lightness, patchy fog, or moderate foliage grants disadvantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on sight. So someone can hide in your mist, but Fairy Fire, that's a wisdom save.
I don't know why it doesn't say on the.
Oh, dexterity right there.
Does it say on the spell?
Yep,
There's
dexterity
not a
saving throw.
section for it though, is there?
There should be, but
Yeah. There's not a save section system there.
it gets a 2.
Well, it's Fairy Fired.
Downside of being big, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, he's rolling bad.
And then you want anything for your Steel Defender?
Yes, I will have my Steel Defender. He's gonna run in.
Just hear some barking in the back. Turns out there's a recorder underneath them.
We'll have him move right there, but that will provoke, I think.
No.
No? Okay.
You can move within their reach. It's only attacks for opportunity only when you leave.
Yeah. Okay, I got it.
Same, like I could move here and then move all around him, and it never would provoke. It's just when I move away from him.
Yeah, that makes sense. Makes more sense than Pathfinders, I would say.
All right. Taskill. I see your spiritual weaponing.
And that would have advantage because of Fairy Fire. Not countered out by the mist or whatever.
Nope, no, it's only perception checks.
Oh, wait, I was going to have the Steel Defender attack.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, do that then.
Yeah. Just real quick. I think he only still gets the one attack, so.
Yep. I'll whiff. That will hit.
Also, the Steel Defender should have gotten the advantage as well.
Oh, yeah, you can roll that again then. That will hit.
Dope. 4 force damage on the croc.
All right. 1,000 cuts in this thing.
And main action.
All right.
19.
Yeah, that'll hit. Damage.
And that'll probably be it.
All right. Fergus, you just got flinged out by a very hot, rocky hand, and you've got some rather sizable wounds on your midsection.
Yeah, I kind of just stand up and like pull out my bow and look at everybody like, I don't know if I hate nature. Nature just hates me. But I'm going to enact my new Hunter's Eye ability and go ahead and put Hunter's Mark on this thing.
Gotcha.
And try out my new bow. Pull back and fire at it.
That'll hit.
Ooh, that's some low sneak attack, but 17 damage.
And then you're also your 1d4 for Hunter's Mark.
It's already on there too.
Oh, it is? Okay,
It's a d6 though, yeah.
So -7. I mean, it's still 17 damage.
Oh yeah, it's just I rolled low on the Hunter's Mark and sneak attack.
Yeah, you guys see Fergus pull an arrow out of his quiver, and as he brings it back to the bow, the ghostly string of his bow appears as he pulls it back, and when he fires it, it seems to kind of like almost flicker as it flies through the air, and you see that it actually passes through Thrum's arm and hits the crocodile in the eye.
And then I'm an action surge.
Mhm.
And fire
As
again.
you do.
19.
Hit.
Hunter's
Ah.
mark and
Ooh,
piercing.
maximum
So,
100. Nice.
Yep. So
We're
14
making
damage.
jerky out of this thing.
Mhm.
Yep, fire a couple precise shots, and that will be my turn.
Minus 14. Yeah, it's looking super freaking rough right now. It only had rolled higher on its initiative. Well,
It takes 1d10 fire damage on its turn while grappled.
You're gonna just self-cook it before it can even get downed.
He's in water right now, so you're like boiling him alive.
basically, he is going to multi-attack because it's panicking and can't get away fast enough because it's grappled. So, considering that Thrum's hand is in its mouth, that's where the bite attack is going.
Yep.
18.
Yep.
Ignore the grapple condition, but you do take 23 piercing damage.
So that would be halved, right? To 12, and then minus temporary hit points of 3, so 9.
And then its tail lashes out. It's kind of randomly. I kind of feel like with the angle that would be going after Freya. So here you go. 24.
Yeah, that'll do it.
All right. 9 bludgeoning damage, and give a DC 16 strength saving throw or be knocked prone.
That's 9. And you said a strength saving throw?
That 3d10 bite, though. No wonder I took so much damage.
Yeah.
3d10 plus 21 strength. Yeah, so you're knocked on your ass, Freya.
All right.
And that's all it can do because it is grappled. So, Nolgrim.
Alright. Let's open with another volley of Eldritch Bless.
All
This
right.
time at advantage.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I should put a little skull on it for hex.
First shot.
That'll hit.
And 1d6 on top of it for the first attack, so a total of 9 damage.
9 damage. All right. How do you kill it?
Right, as Thrum's kind of pulling it back and kind of prying its mouth open, Nolgrim's going to line up a shot and fire one of his spectral fists right down its throat, dealing as much internal damage as it can.
Yep. It gives a shriek as blood starts flowing from its mouth, and as it kicks its last bits of energy out, it finally goes still.
Huzzah.
Gator bites.
If we're out of initiative, I was going to use my second wind ability to recover some of that wound and get
All
7 back.
I think we found a solid place to camp for the night. We got a nice supply of water and a plentiful abundance of food that we'll probably need to take care of tonight.
Anyone want to make some alligator boots?
Actually, yeah, that sounds like a pretty good idea with all these swamplands we've been coming across.
I think there's enough here for all of us. Anybody know how to do it?
No.
Yeah. Is anyone proficient with cobbler tools? That's a real thing in 5th edition.
Did anybody bring their all? Their all?
I might be. Let me check.
By the way, while he's checking that, Loki, if you want, you can make your character sheet have a damage modifier for your hex ability, where you can automatically just check a box and it'll add it to the damage when you roll.
Yeah, I made one for my grudge, but I'll go ahead and do that for my hex now, too.
Yeah. Just figured I'd mention that. I wasn't sure if you
Yeah.
had done that yet.
But I am now. An ability automatically applies itself on a critical hit unless it explicitly says it doesn't, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
It's not Pathfinder.
But that's also why you only get like sneak attack once per turn, because it can crit. Versus Pathfinder lets you have it on every attack if you get them.
Yeah, because that's only smites for paladins that you can do per attack.
Yeah.
And you can choose that after you get a crit too, which is the nutty thing.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, sneak attack is unlimited. Paladin spell slots are quite limited, so...
Yeah. Oh no, it makes sense, but I'm just like, it is so nutty that you could be like, huh, I just got a crit. I'm just gonna go ahead and 3rd level smite this bitch.
Yep.
That definitely was good times for our Christmas one shot because
Yeah.
made my paladin smite count super good.
Mm-hmm.
It's what the paladin in said barn fire party I had did to get cows through a wall. Is he ran over to the side of the barn and he smote the side of the barn to explode a wall in. Because it didn't say it has to be a creature. It said it could be an object. So I'm like, yeah, no, you can smite the wall.
That was creative. In 20 years, he'll look back and go, why was I saving cows? Having spoken vampires and dragons.
Yeah, so not a lot of other larger animals seem to be wandering near this pond currently, because apparently they know something that you didn't.
We know it now.
Something that some of us didn't know.
I knew it was there the whole time, just needed somebody to draw it out. Good job, Fergus. Now we got something good to eat.
You slapped
Meanwhile,
Fergus
I'm taking a couple bandages and trying to just patch these holes that are in my face.
Mm.
I'm taking its teeth.
Start with the ones that are currently lodged in your arm, in your body, in your torso.
I'm working on it.
Thrum, I would have thought someone like you would have known a watering hole like this would have been infested.
I had my suspicions. Just needed somebody to draw them out.
Ow. In my defense, ow. I don't get out much before this.
Then again, something that size, it may have eaten this month and may not need to eat again for 5, 6 more hours.
That being said, does it look like it was the only crocodile there?
It looks like it was the only one here, yes.
Curious.
I imagine this whole area has more than just this one water.
Oh, yeah, there's probably other pools around, but this one pool is the only one.
Big male like this, he won't let anybody in. No competition until he gets the feeling he needs to wander, and you know why.
No, why?
Ivy speaks up. It's looking for its lost homeland that was lost generations ago.
No, that's absurd. It's looking for a new life.
Yes, that's absurd.
But I see what you did there, lass.
Do you? All right, so you guys ready to press on for the next day?
Yep.
I think so.
All right. Which way you guys heading?
Sorry, I was on the wrong spot
Along
of the
the
map.
wall, I think. So going down one's hex.
Right.
Going straight down, and if that goes into not against the wall, we'll head there the next day.
All right, I will just do this real quick because this is one of those I did not design this map type things that I would have very easily avoided. Yeah. There. So let me do this. Oh, wrong thing. Okay.
Taskill, do you use a axe or a hammer?
I got both.
Okay.
First one, then the other.
As we're walking, Thrum's gonna side up next to Taskill and okay. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I feel more disconnected from this than I used to, and he's gonna hold out the Dammerhall axe that he has. Say,
Hey.
take a look at this. Those runes on there, the way I figure it, this is forged in the halls. And
Yeah, the workmanship's of adequate quality. Fred'd probably know more about the ruins, though.
Well, I've tried one of those stones that we got from the gnomes a long while back, and like Nolgrim says, it works. It's got a bit of magic to it, and I figured you might get more use out of it now than I do.
Yeah, I'll try and use it in good faith. It's not much call for getting in at the moment, but I thank you for the gift.
Just if you see any porkas on my back when I turn into a stupid rock monster, make sure and chop them with that thing. And we'll be square.
Hey, it's the plan anyway.
Look, don't tell any of the young ones, but I have to confess to somebody, and being a man of the gods, I figure it might as well be you, as long as you'll not repeat it. But when I was with those elves, I met a man that knew more about me and touched me on the inside, like I've never been touched before, and he knew some things about me. Well, maybe my nature and what's making me change, and my connections to the hard place, the mountain. But
I see.
So much innuendo in this conversation.
so
Hey, we're up there for 3 days with that druid.
I keep having the image of this burning small spot in the caves, and when I calm down, it calms down. Maybe when I heat up, it heats up. I don't know yet, but I'm not sure if we're supposed to go there or if we're supposed to avoid it.
Well, first order of business is still finding that mine, but if it's causing the quakes around here, perhaps it's worth investigating.
Yeah. See, I knew you were a good one to talk to. And he drifts away.
And scene.
This section of the jungle here, as you're wandering around, you notice that this section seems to be filled with these large plants growing around the trees that are ending in watermelon-sized orchid flowers. Beautiful pink and blue bulbs that grow naturally all around you with a sweet scent. And as you get close to one, it opens up and you see a ray of fangs, and it takes a bite at you, and you have to scamper back real quick, otherwise it would take a shot at you.
Careful of the hungry ones.
So it's going to be a survival check to navigate this area to avoid patches where the carnivorous orchids would eat you.
Can Fergis and I do anything to help the rest of the group with our...
This is going to be like a group survival check is what we're doing. So one person's going to be leading for the entire party, not individual this time around.
What's your survival?
Mine's only a +4.
I have a +4, but I have an ability that lets me add to it. So if you want to assist me, maybe.
Yeah, what is Taskill's?
Just +4 as well.
Do we get any bonus for ranger abilities?
I can use a superiority die on my roll after I roll to add a D8 to it.
Oh yeah, that's nice then. I'll give you advantage.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I'll add a D8 to it with a superiority die for a total of a 24.
Yep. You managed to weave through this section. Like narratively, it takes longer to get through here, but it's still within the same day. But you avoid more than just a few base bumps and scrapes. Something like anything could be sorted out with a short rest. But you
Every
think
now
you
and
know,
then, for flavor, a smaller plant snaps at Thrum as I lead him, just close enough to get a little scare.
Yeah, and I was thinking Thrum's behind you, giving, quote, advantage, and he's just every now and then grabs you on the shoulder and he's like, no, this way, boy, this way. And they all bite at you, and he's like, nope, no, I said this way.
So it's a constant of which one of us is going to spook the other one more.
Oh my God, it's like a father and old son going through the woods. This is terrible.
they're bonding.
You see, this is what happens when Fergus gets a father figure. He rejects it.
Miku releases his spores to communicate with you and says, I now understand why the drow on his map called this the Orchid Jungle.
The what jungle?
Orchid Jungle. If you guys look on the map handout that Malleus gave you.
The rough map. Orchid Jungle in the realm of the burning ghost, or the blue ghost. Yep. We're getting towards the direction of possible living fire. So that'll be fun. Have I mentioned that I hate the underground?
Nah.
First thing we're going to do when we discover Dammerhall is I'm installing a sunroof.
That takes so many man hours. And it's going to be great because it's just like, it's such a huge tunnel up to the peak of the mountain. It's just like a pinprick of light.
No, you see, that's what mirrors are for.
Sadly, it's the misty mountain that's always surrounded by a cloud.
Yeah.
It takes like 100 years and thousands of dwarf man hours to make the equivalent light of a kitchen table lamp.
No, but you see, you do that so it shines right on the throne, so it looks imposing.
And then it rains.
A single bird lands on the hole.
And just a piece of bird shit fell for an hour and hit you on the head. Okay. Next day. Are you guys going to be sticking with the wall, or are you going to move directly south, deeper into the jungle?
I'd say go on the wall.
Yeah, stand against the wall.
It might be naive of me, but every mine I ever heard of came out of a wall. Or out of the floor. Which could be in the middle of a jungle. Damn it.
Well, yeah, watch it just be a mine shaft in the middle of the jungle.
It's like right there.
But my bets would be it's in one of these walls.
Loki's eye is twitching because we didn't uncover these walls up here.
It's not that bad.
Okay.
Yet.
This is where if there's a TV show, we cut to Loki's perspective and just all the furniture in his house is upside down and the papers are scattered everywhere. And he's like, it's not that bad. I'm coping just fine.
But worse comes to worse, if we don't find the mine shaft over here, we're going to have to head back over there anyway, so we'll be able to uncover some of these
Cut through
hexes.
the middle, yeah.
Well, now see, I'm also seeing that only part of this hex was revealed, while this one is fully revealed. So my instinct is to put a bomb against this wall, or poke it, see if it dings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Happy?
I think it's...
I knew it.
I think that's
Well,
the
you
manual.
wasted all your mana. Let's go on.
I think that's how you defeat Ganon.
Yeah. So, on this day, you're still hugging close to the cave wall. The areas around here are damper as the rainwater does flow down to the sides. However, the jungle's a little thinner. You don't run into any serious difficulties, though you are seeing that these cave walls are absolutely pocked with small little indentations and short caves, that both at ground level and up higher, that you can easily tell that multiple different animals from the jungle are using as dens.
Is there a role we can determine what kind of animals that are using these as dens?
It would be easier to guess what isn't using it as a
Okay.
den. Because you see some paradons up high fly away. You see larger tracks of like stegodons and stuff like that maybe were using these as homes.
I think we can rule out dwarves living there, though.
Yeah, it's one of the things where, to find a specific animal, you would need to do a skill roll. You know.
I'm just saying, somewhere on this adventure, we're going to run into this really old-ass dwarf that has just been surviving alone in the Underdark for, like, decades. And he is going to be ancient and crotchety, and he's going to make Thrum look like a summer child.
I look forward to meeting somebody worth his salt.
He's going to say, can't meet a good one under 200 these days.
The gruff of this one is too strong.
All the only sounds he makes are, hard to understand grumbling sounds, except for occasionally a racial.
You can tell he's grizzled because he's the only drow that naturally grows a beard.
Wait.
What? We're talking about dwarf.
Oh, dwarf. Sorry, I was thinking drow. My bad.
Oh God,
He's just a giant.
We somehow hit a fast forward future loop. It's Thrum's child wandering
A
around.
drow that got trapped in Dammerhall and is convinced that he's a dwarf.
That'd be the weirdest imposter syndrome. So I assume you guys are just sticking close to the wall.
Yep.
You can probably assume that until we uncover all the walls in this cave.
Or at least when we meet up with this wall down south here.
Yeah. And we'll cut across if we need to.
The little nameplate of Expedition was obscuring where the hex's edge was, so I just wanted to get clean.
Like, I know that it looks like it's supposed to be a dwarf beard and helmet,
Mm.
But every time I see it, it looks like a golden, like, scarab beetle.
Whatever floats your boat.
Well, I'm always zoomed out, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, another mostly uneventful day of traveling along the edge of the cavern. Same deal as before. Lots of little caves where animals might be.
We're just surviving off of Taskill's rations at the moment. We don't have to worry about foraging yet, I assume. Cope?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it takes fun out of it. We had a lot of fun with it for a while, but at this point, he has more than enough to feed us every single day.
And it makes sense to do it, really, if we're not getting into situations where we're going to need every single spell available to us.
Yeah.
Plus, we need to conserve our food because no doubt there's going to be another long trek of barren tunnel in our future.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
no different than what you're doing now.
Well, we have a jungle to pick from at least.
Well, our bag is full of food. It's just that Taskill's casting.
Right. Yes,
Feed
I
people
got that
everything.
mixed up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, I think we just continue our trek and push on.
Keeping on following the cave wall, okay?
I would I wouldn't just like do it like once every like 7 days or anything, but throughout this travel, I would be like checking up on Miku and Ivy and seeing how they're doing. I know.
Yeah.
I remember like Ivy was like saying that she wasn't really getting the nightmares when she was out of the cave, and just like trying to see if she's getting the sense of like she's getting issues again or anything yet.
It's nothing intense like it was back in the Path of Walking Madness. It's just her normal amount now.
Yeah. And Miku's able to release spores, so at least he's not possessed again.
Yep.
Okay. Just keeping track and making sure nothing's going too crazy.
Yeah.
Don't have to kill them today.
Yet.
All right. Unfortunately, this
No!
is another gigantic fog of mosquitoes area.
So I had that item that I picked up that's like a plant that's supposed to repel bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Would I be able to utilize that in some way? Like, since it's probably dried by this point, would I be able to like apply it to a torch and kind of have it do like a slow burn, like like a mosquito lantern To at least try to give us a bonus or something like a D4 or.
I'll say you could take it at advantage.
Okay.
Yeah,
I purposely grabbed this just for this reason.
Everyone give me a Constitution saving throw at advantage.
Yep. Gonna wrap the spider cloak around me.
I just yell at everybody, stay close. This thing only has a certain distance.
Once again, except for Miku, because he's a plant.
Because he's a plant. Survival at advantage.
This is a Constitution save at advantage.
1 second. That's not very much advantage. Do we have hero points?
No.
All right, let me pull this up real quick. Because it looks like a couple of you failed.
I'm not liking these natural 20s I've been getting. I have a feeling. I feel like this shoe's going to drop eventually.
So Taskill, Freya, and Fergis succeed. Ivy, Thrum, and Nolgrim fail. So, okay, cool. Do you guys camp out here, or what you doing?
I say we push. Yeah.
Okay.
Risk the exhaustion, but get out of the bug infestedness.
Although, do we remember what was here? What is this?
It's super dense jungle. It takes you 3 days to go through that hex. Or you could do a skill check to reduce it to 2 days, but other than that, that's all it is.
I say we push through this way and
You do,
and then we can go that way.
Sure.
You guys don't see it, but I have been marking the word clear on the ones that you've gone through before, but haven't rolled a terrain feature, so this one is clear.
Yeah.
Alright, let's just get out of this bug hell.
Yeah. Before they lay any more eggs, I imagine, in all of us.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Nothing.
Okay, one moment. As you guys are navigating this way, you get the slight hint of smoke on the wind, which does remind me, everyone should give me a DC 10 Constitution saving throw to see if you get the level of fatigue from force marching.
That was Fergus. I just was still on Ivy's thing.
No worries. It's just DC 10, so Ivy's tuckered out.
Yeah.
Short weeks.
I think Thrum got it. I had advantage marked, but he failed.
So anyone who failed that, you just take the first level of exhaustion, which if you're all not taking the jungle one, that should still just be your first one. So it's just skill rolls, not too bad. But you kind of catch the smell of smoke on the wind. Very faint, very much like campfire smelling.
Does it smell like, or like nearby? I imagine if it's this close, we can smell it.
Yeah, Thrum's going to do his primeval awareness.
And that's like 5 miles, right?
I will hit it and tell you.
It's pretty far. I know that.
It's pretty far.
I imagine if you can smell it, it's at least
5
a
miles.
mile.
Yep, 5 miles. Yeah, you pick up about what was the number down here? 8 drow.
Hey.
Like, can you tell the difference between drow and regular elves?
Technically, no. So I guess just 8 elves.
I think we can safely assure that they're not the normal elves because they don't come down here. So
Yeah, they had not come down there for so long that there was a undead T-Rex in the entrance.
I've got 8 of our favorite elves right down the hallway there. And I can tell how far away?
Yeah, they're maybe 3 miles from you. Not too far in the grand scheme of things.
Mm-hmm. About 3 miles out. Looks like they're having themselves a nice little bonfire.
Let's get the jump on them then.
yeah, it makes me wonder what they're doing here, and if they're here, that means they had to come through the path of madness, didn't they? Because the other way is blocked off.
Which direction? This direction?
Oh, sorry.
I think it's on the same tile, isn't it?
It's on the same hex as you. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Ivy speaks up, saying, "Well, unless they were here before we came to the wound, because it collapsed when we got there."
That's
I'll
all the
tell you
more
what,
concerning.
there's something none of us can answer, so let's keep one alive and get the answers from him.
Keep the one that looks like he's in charge alive, and let me try to get a little bit of distance on all of us, like maybe like 30 feet.
Mhm.
I will cast mage armor on myself as we're approaching within like a mile distance of it,
Okay.
because that lasts for like 8 hours after that. So, and do you want me to roll a stealth now?
Yeah, anyone who's creeping close, go ahead and give me a stealth.
How close? Come into the fight?
I'm trying to get like a distance of like 30 or 40 feet on you guys, so that way I can at least get closer and kind of see what's going on before. I don't want to get too far away from you guys, obviously, but
Yeah, we'll hang back and you can come back and scout for us.
Yeah, I don't got the stealth for it.
Ivy's feeling plumb tuckered, I imagine, so probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've got negative disadvantage.
So if they're hanging back, I'll go ahead and scout ahead for about 40 or 50 feet, and I keep getting farther, but, you know, if they're hanging back like that.
Yeah.
Within range of being able to run in a couple rounds to the allies if I have to, but enough distance where I can, you know, safely stealth away from them.
Mhm.
Couple rounds.
See something here.
Because you're super fast. I mean, you can
I can go
bonus
like
action.
75, I think, feet in a round.
Okay. So yeah, as you creeping close, you kind of you have to get a little bit closer than 50 feet because all the dense jungle foliage obscures.
Yeah.
You find a clearing that has a campfire in the center of it, and around the campfire they're not wagons, but they're like larger like stagecoaches, like a Romani caravan.
Mm-hmm.
You see a few drow milling around, but they are not alone, as they also seem to have these alongside of them these black scale lizard folk also moving around at the camp. And also, this is kind of a new one to you, they look very much like orcs, but their skin is gray instead of green, and they're wearing like heavy plate armor, except for one of them, which is leaning up against one of the caravans that is basically shirtless except for just one pauldron, as he's got kind of like this swirly black tattoos going up his arms.
Mm-hmm. And none of them look like they're enslaved by the drow, or?
I mean, all the non-drow ones are carrying weapons. Looking around at the few, actually, interestingly enough, the drow are actually the minority here. It's mainly lizard folk and these weird alternate orcs.
Mm-hmm.
And what few drow there are look like they are kind of like, they don't have like military uniforms. They have like all assortment of weapons with patchwork armor and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to be just milling around the camp and talking amongst themselves.
Anyway, anything I can hear, or is it too far away?
You might need to get a little bit closer, but then you can give me a perception.
That'll probably require another stealth roll, I imagine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. Oof.
All right. Let me do a roll.
Can you add your point?
Can I do that with stealth? That's actually a good question.
I thought
Add
you
it
did.
to stealth, yeah. So I'll bump out a superiority die.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it 21. Good call there.
Yep.
I forgot I could use it for stealth too.
Yeah, you managed to creep closer. You do notice as you're closer, there's like a rock that has some palm trees on top of it. It looks like there's a couple drow up there with longbows that look like they're keeping watch, but they don't seem to have spotted you.
I just think to my head, son of a bitch, of course these ones have longbows. So yeah, I'll get whatever close I need to try to listen in and see if I hear anything.
Yeah. Now, I know for a fact that you don't speak Orcish or Lizard folk.
No, let's see. The languages I have are Common, Dwarvish, Elvish, Gnomish, Undercommon.
Yeah, like it appears that like whenever some of the one of the different races talk to each other, they are using Undercommon, but for the most part, people are sticking to their native tongues when conversing with each other. So you're able to pick up a couple drow talking near the edge of the foliage. They're just kind of standing around, and one saying, "Yeah, here, Rhinan's patrol got half wiped out by some large reptilian beast with 3 horns." You go, "Yeah, really? This been here for a little while. Hopefully, Bazir is right, and that we can find anything that could turn a profit here. We are losing mercenaries by the day. Yeah, well, so long as the gold is good, we can take it back to the city." And it's just general like talking like that.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Being this close, can I get a sense of numbers other than drow? Because I know we detected 8 of them.
Yeah,
But,
I am.
like, the orcish and lizardy people. Can I get an eyeball of how many I might be able to see?
They're drifting in and out of the foliage a little bit, but you would wager maybe about, including that one unarmored one, maybe about 9 orcs and a dozen or so lizard folk.
Yeah, that's risky.
As you are closer, you didn't immediately notice. You notice that there is a person sitting on top of one of the caravans.
Mm-hmm.
Female by the look of it. Kind of wearing a like a cloak with a hood up. Just kind of has feet dangling. You can't make out too many distinct features, though. Judging by the size, it's either a weirdly small drow or someone who's young.
Mm-hmm.
And this figure's feet start kicking at some point, and kind of looks around, and then hops down and goes over to one of the caravans, and bangs on the window side of it, which rolls up, and you see a drow wearing like a long red like overcoat, and he's kind of got like a counter, and he leans out. And it's too far away, so you can't hear words, but you do see a vague hand gesture in your direction, and the drow behind the caravan looks in the area where you are.
Yep, I'm gonna try to get out there while trying to not be observed, but it looks like my cover's blown. So as soon as they get too close to me, I'm just gonna start booking it. But yeah.
Yeah, you see the one inside the caravan pulls down the shutter again. No one's making any sort of like commotion or move. That
I got
image,
a blank image.
Yeah, that image did not load for me.
I saw Emperor Pilaf in the name.
Yeah, it's Emperor Pilaf. He said they were either small or a child, and he's been both.
A moment later, a door at the back of the caravan opens, and the well-dressed drow steps out. You notice like a couple of the orcs give him space. You get the impression that this guy's the leader.
Yep.
He walks to the center of camp, and then he calls out in Undercommon, kind of overcutting the kind of general din of conversation of all those around him. He says, "Be you one that can speak, and not some beastie scuttling in the bush. There's no need to conceal yourself. We are all friends out here in these untamed wilds, are we not?"
Since I have listened to him for a while, I'm gonna do that thing with my voice as a mastermind to kind of mimic some speech patterns of drow I've heard and stuff. And call out, it depends on what you consider friend or foe. Haven't exactly had the best track record lately.
Trying times on the road, I am certain. But please, be at peace. I am merely a humble merchant, seeking exotic new products out here in the wild. I would much rather have a potential customer than someone skulking in the bushes with blades.
I'm gonna insight check.
Absolutely. He's on the level.
I'm gonna think to myself like, since my cover's blown away, I came to see if you presented a danger to me. I'm trying to basically make myself like seem like I'm by myself, but if you wish no ill will of me, I will be on my way as I begin to like kind of back up.
Come now, good sir. Certainly, if you've been out here in these harsh jungle, you could use resupplies. Perhaps product? I'm sure you found more than one thing I'd be willing to barter it for. I'm always interested in meeting new travelers upon the road.
Even of the stocky variety.
Now, why would that make a difference?
While he says that, I'm just kind of gonna try to slink away.
Does your coin not spend?
Yep. I don't trust this guy as far as I can not throw him because I'm weak as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
But I am going to start backing away from the whole group and try to give a wide berth away from the camp.
Okay. And you're able to return to the group.
I will say I go in a very roundabout way to back to camp.
Yeah. You can give me a perception.
Zigzag, circular.
You can give me a perception if you want.
I will also give another stealth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as near as you can tell, you're actually not being followed.
So I would return to the group. Explain kind of the situation I saw, the drow talking about finding things, and the guy speaking about trade, how he had what looked to be a good, you would say a couple dozen at least mercenary people from the way that I heard.
Yeah.
Of lizard folk and like some dark colored orcs.
Yeah, they had like light gray skin as opposed to green.
Yeah.
And anyone could give me a history if they want to know about that.
On it. And he talked about trade, but again, with our track record we've had, I can't imagine any of you are interested.
I mean,
I trust them more than I do those pansies up in the grass.
we do have some wares we could potentially unload.
I mean, it's up to you guys if you want to take the risk. I didn't feel the need to try myself.
Tell me about their caravans. What was pulling them?
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to describe that. They had there's a total of 5 caravans, and they had 5 large pack lizards.
One of those caravans could be pretty handy.
I don't know if they're gonna relinquish their caravans, but
I wasn't gonna ask.
They outnumber us quite substantially.
Yeah, the drow have always outnumbered us.
Yeah, I don't really worry about the drow so much as there's this one in particular orc that stood out to me that, from the looks of it, looks like he can handle himself with or without armor. And if they're being paid as well as it sounds like they're being paid, I can't imagine they're going to be lightweights.
So they've got good coin on them too.
With that
that's what
history
I'm
roll, Nolgrim, you only know that you've heard that there was like a special variety of orc that somehow adapted to the Underdark.
Fergis did get a 17.
Yeah.
Oh, Fergis got a 17?
Yeah, I read about
Fergis has heard more stories about this, mainly like from people who came from the valleys leading to Eshkira Wastes, where they fight a lot of orcs. But there is a sub-variety of orcs. They are essentially orcs that wander to the Underdark. And through generations of just hard-fought trial and error, their skin became dark gray instead of green. But they're primarily noted for being a little bit taller, a little bit stronger, but actually much smarter than normal orcs. When they usually come to the surface, they usually take control of warbands from the normal green orcs.
Boy.
But they're numerically far fewer, though. There's not like entire battalions of them. There's usually just handfuls of time. Yeah.
And if
So-
you want,
Call
You and I could-
rocks.
if you want, you and I can go, and should things turn south, I could teleport us out of there with a bang.
How far can you leap like that, Sonny?
300 feet or so.
Well,
Has to
damn.
be something I could see.
What
but
would you be
at the
going
same
back
time-
for if we're not all going back?
Trade.
What are you going to trade?
We got the
We're
four
not
pistols.
trading with the drow. What are you thinking?
Well, if we're not going to trade, I just suggest to avoid them. The numbers, all it takes is a couple lucky hits, even if we're more skilled than they are, which I don't believe we are. I think our best bet was just to give them a wide berth if we're not going to deal with them.
Very well.
I'll leave this up to the group's decision here. I don't know much about the Underdark and the greed of the drow, I suppose. I mean, if there's money to be had, I will say they didn't look like they had slaves in tow, so I can't imagine that's what they're looking for in trade. So the chances of them wanting to just imprison us is slim.
They might have information too.
Anyone can give me a history check about drow relations if you want.
I'll do it. Nolgrim got high this time.
Yeah. The drow society is not a monolith. You know, it's got its own sub factions, it's got its own houses and everything like that. And there has been known to be drow traders. Sometimes they move between cities, but they're usually not too afraid to break coin with other people too. Now, of course, tinted by Dwarven society, the trustworthiness of said traders might be suspect, but it is not unheard of for drow that are independent, not necessarily military, to actually trade in good faith.
Yeah, it might just be a hard haggle, though.
I think you spoke wisely there, Fergus. But if we got nothing to trade, then there's no reason to go back there.
But
Well,
we do have
quite
stuff
a
to
bit
trade.
Yeah.
And we also could potentially exchange information so we know what we're about to get into up ahead.
They might find the idea of the narcotics and silk clothing and lingerie we have appealing.
Or the crystals we got from that salt chamber.
And we
I'd
have
be happy
coin.
to back you up going up there, but
You guys
don't
do just
say a
have money,
damn
too.
thing about where we're going, all right? Or
Oh
we'll-
yeah, let's sell him the wares of his dead countrymen. Let's see how they feel about that.
Mhm.
We don't have to say where we got it. And again, if we're gonna do this, I like Nolgrim's idea. He could get me and him out in a hurry. So if everyone was to approach, I would advise everyone else to stay back while we approach, and we can get out in a hurry if we need to. But again, if we're not gonna do this, I vote we just leave them alone and carry on our own way.
I'm for taking the risk of trading with them, either wares or information or both.
I'd rather stay away. Never gotten any good information from a drow. Or at least not any I can trust.
We're not
This is what
fighting
Ivy
them. I
speaks
don't
of.
want to.
Didn't that Hestia one that you had in your hands tell us exactly what was in the fortress?
Aye.
I'm just pointing at that one. Thrum said they never got any good information.
I agree with you right there.
Call all that information good. It was about a bunch of more drow.
Taskill, Freya, what are your opinions?
Well, if we're not fighting them, I most definitely don't want to be doing business with the drow.
Agreed, but I suppose we'll probably not be talking you out of it.
Well, again, I left this to the floor of all of you. I'll trust all of your opinions on this. If you don't want to trust them, we don't have to go.
It sounds like Nolgrim's the only one who wants to go, so
All right, then we'll skirt around them and continue on.
that was a wise group decision. Whether it be right or not, we shall find out.
I suggest, though, we double up on watches tonight. maybe do watches in pairs.
And Thrum's
Yeah,
gonna.
I think we already do that anyway. But yeah.
Thrum's gonna do his primeval awareness check again, just to see if they've gotten closer.
Nope, same distance.
Well,
Who are they trading to out here?
From what I heard, they were looking for things to bring back to the city to trade. So if we had something of value to them, they might have things they found in the wilds, or they're looking for and something in particular that we might be able to rule out where they've gone. But I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong, the barterer in me is tempted to go back and try to trade with them, but it's a risky endeavor for sure.
it sounds like
Who's
Fergus
to
is
say
starting
they-
to learn.
Who's to say they won't recognize you if you reveal who you are? I mean, they've surely had long enough to relay all of the tensions between our two factions.
I mean, granted, there's only been 2 drow that I think know of our faces that we haven't killed, and both of them we left upstairs, and one of them disappeared into the path of madness.
An entire, I don't know what you would call that group of drow,
Like a border fortress.
but yeah, and you don't take out an entire fortress of drow and keep that a secret.
I mean, weren't they also considered like just the dregs that they kind of just threw in a corner to be forgotten about? There's a chance that only they.
I'm not saying they're going to be torn up about it.
Well, to be
Miku-
fair, how are they going to get word about it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
people don't
Miku-
seem like they've
Way
been
up.
back.
Yeah, Miku adds in that you guys didn't really leave any survivors to say what you look like.
Yeah, the one we left as a survivor, the other that wasn't Hestia, was the diplomat guy. Then we just told him to fuck off into the fungal jungle.
And we know that nobody came backtrack or would have made their way to the fortress in our way, because the one way we went collapsed. The other way we went, we didn't cross anybody going the opposite direction.
I just say we move about our business. We'll deal with anything that happens.
Right?
Meanwhile, Nolgrim's like, I really want to talk to him.
All right, so you guys are just making camp for the night then?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Okie dokes.
Should we move on?
You
We've
already
already
force
kind of
marched.
pushed. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not much you can do this day.
Okay.
Fergus gets scout ahead because he has more movement, I think.
Also, it's one thing to say that I advance ahead of the party by 80 feet, and there's another of we go an additional 12 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, that's true.
Yeah.
Then there's only one thing to do. Charge.
If we're gonna charge, we should talk first.
I don't know. I don't think we have credit built up with that country yet, so I don't think we can charge it.
Can you use some of your magic in helping me lay a couple of early warning systems around the base? I have a feeling we might get visitors tonight.
I can do it just around the direct area around us, but they can still sneak up and fire at us if they decided to. But at
Do
least
we
they
still
won't take our
have bear
pockets.
traps and stuff?
We have a couple bear traps.
Yeah, let's set those up and
I can do that and put up
some of your bells
and
and strings. Yeah, I'll help you.
and then I can do the alarm around the immediate area we're sleeping, which is like a 20-foot cube.
Yeah, because we're definitely in the forest again, so
Mm.
you know, could be another dinosaur coming to eat us.
My biggest thought is maybe they knew where the blue ghost was for Nolgrim. He seems to be really wanting to find that creature.
He's a menace that is worthy to be wiped out.
I mean, you guys haven't done a single survival check to try to track him, so.
Yeah. Well, we haven't been really stopped yet, so. I figured we can't do those kind of survival checks on the road, so I haven't asked.
Yeah. All right, so you guys settle in for a tense night of waiting for an ambush. That the ambush just never comes.
That's a good thing.
It is the next day.
Do they still seem to be in the same area, Thrum?
Yeah, he'll check in the morning.
You check. The only difference is that there's now 3 more elves.
It looks like some of the hunting parties you talked about have come back. Maybe that's just their base of operations. I say we take a wide berth around it and move on.
From what Miku said, he saw the smoke appear in different areas, so they probably are trekking around the same way as we are. So we might want to run into them whether we want to or not. But yeah, let's just give a wide berth for now.
I'd rather run into a small hunting party than their main facility.
So do we want to go south so that way we can avoid the massive jungle? This is infested with like 3 times movement.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well.
Find out what's down there.
Behind door number 1.
All right.
And it's the circus that they're gathering beasts for.
Yeah, da-da-da-da-da-da.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Oh god, there's clowns everywhere.
No, don't be afraid. Step right up. It's Underdrow's Circus of Fun.
Oh.
We're a different faction. Our cousins have a bad name, but we're here to brighten your smile, brighten your day.
All right. A lot of micro here, but it's worth it.
I swear to god, this is another freezing tile.
It's not. I'm gonna just let you guys know. Have you noticed how when you're in the jungle, there's no freezy section so far?
Yeah.
That's a good point. Note to self, don't go out of the jungle.
We kind of have to examine the sides.
Mm. All right. What would you guys say your marching order is?
Well, we don't have the wagon anymore so much, so.
Yep.
I can't imagine we're just marching in a straight line. We're probably
Yeah,
spread out.
you can double up. I'm just asking.
Thrum would be somewhere near the front. He wouldn't insist on always being in front, but
Yeah.
I'd probably be off to the side a little bit, not like unbearably so, but enough to where I can give a berth to kind of see if there's anything coming from our flank.
Logan will probably be in the middle, just getting ready to react to any direction.
And Frey'd probably be behind him.
Okay.
Taskill in the rear.
Nope. Here.
Yes.
I said just one moment. This one, it's
Here we go.
Suddenly pterodactyls.
I have a feeling it's a blue ghost. Because now we're going to have something to trade if we can subdue it. I'll trade you the blue ghost if you and all the drow die.
commit mass suicide. Gee Wilkersville, mister, that's a deal. And they just shoot him. Works every time, 50% of the time.
Longbow in mouth.
You know, that's actually quite impressive.
They had to use their feet for that one.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. There we go. All right. Let's see. Taskill. You hear rustling of foliage coming from behind you.
Mm-hmm. And I raised the alarm. Something behind us.
Y'all turn what?
Just in time for...
Thrum
that'll hit. That'll hit. That'll hit. All that is on Taskill.
Oof.
He got a 3 on his stealth, but he's still invisible, so he gets advantage. There we guys go.
56.
Well, Taskill's dead.
Is he alive?
He's down, I believe.
Yeah.
To shreds, you say?
He's not instant dead, though, as the blue ghost just lays into him with efficiency.
I have a feeling I know what's about to happen. Initiative.
I mean, oh yeah, that's right. Technically, I guess he should have pounced, but I mean, you went down anyway, so I think the prone thing would be redundant.
Is Ivy or Miku going to be in this one?
Pick one.
I don't know what you guys want.
I
Miku
think
or-
Miku. I think we need the damage sponge.
Mm. Yeah, I know. Like logically, they're technically both here, but it's just
It's
guys are
just
gonna
hard to.
you guys are gonna be picking up companions as you go throughout this game, and it would just progressively unbalance everything.
Yeah.
Thrum, you're in control of Miku if you want to roll for his initiative.
All right.
I think we've just kind of decided so far of our companions. You're Miku, I'm Ivy.
All right.
It is truly ironic. I've been rolling randomly to see if you encounter like the blue ghost, and this is literally 1 hex away from when you encountered him last time.
He probably has the territory.
Oh, I'm sure, but right. Is everyone up there? Looks like they are. All right. Descending. Also, just to let you guys know, last time I ran the blue ghost encounter, I kept having him pop over to the GM layer when he went invisible. I have since read the rules, and that is actually wrong. He only does that if he takes the hide action on his turn. However, he can make himself invisible. You'll know where he is, but you'll still have disadvantage on attacks.
I just want to say, when I rolled a 15, I was like, that's not bad.
I'm just
Oh
swapping it out.
God, they're multiplying.
I just did that so that way when I make one token on the GM layer, it doesn't disappear from the initiative. So
Gotcha.
So I'm up. I'm a hunter's mark, this bad boy.
all right. Yeah, there's no save for that.
And then gonna move 10, 15 to here. And I'm gonna hold my shot until like someone else gets in range.
All right. It is going to use its first legendary action, Vanish. It becomes invisible, and then it gets to move.
Well, damn.
But
I should
does
be
it
able to
hide
keep
action?
track of where it's going though with hunter's mark.
Yeah, it's invisible, but it does not hide action. However, since you are using dynamic lighting, it can just do. Oh yeah, I shouldn't hold on. I shouldn't be using the arrows because then you guys see that.
Yeah.
So there you go. Now you guys don't know where it is. It's not a hide action. It's just it broke
It's
line
just-
of sight.
Go in somewhere for cover.
You- like thematically, you guys hear its footsteps in the mud and the rustling of the leaves. So you're like,
around us.
it's very Predator-esque, and you're like, it's around, it's here. You know?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
I guess Miku will move to circle around. Oh, that put him in black.
Yeah, sorry. Sometimes the lighting on the jungle gets a little bit.
Also, I don't think we get vision from Miku, so
Okay. So maybe just for the simplicity,
Yeah, if you want to turn him on.
I guess. Because you all control his token,
giggity.
don't you?
Yep.
He has vision, but I don't think he has dark vision. But we're using daylight mode, so that should be fine.
He doesn't have dark vision?
I didn't feel like popping open his. I think he does. I just don't feel like checking his sheet right now, and it's not
I
relevant.
mean,
Yeah, he does have dark. He does have dark vision. I just forget if it's 60 or 120, but it's not relevant right now.
yeah, okay. So he's going to take up a point around our fallen comrade, and 5e, if you go into rage,
If you
have
if you do not attack or do you not get damaged, you can
you
lose
lose it.
Mm.
Okay, so he's just going to sit and he's going to ready an action for if something comes within range, he can attack, I guess?
Yep.
All right. Actually, he's going to go one more step. Right there. Do that, and then Thrum's basically going to do the same thing.
Okay.
So Thrum is going to come here and go large.
All right. I assume you're not doing immolated form because then that puts you on a timer for 2 rounds to settle combat.
Yeah, and it also takes my rage. No, he is just going large right now. Just going Rocky form. I actually kind of want him right there if that's okay.
That's fine.
Well, we'll put him here. We'll keep a boundary going.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to ready an action if something comes within range. And he's got his pike.
Yep.
So range is further than normal.
15 feet. Also, I believe, Freya, you should be full health right now. It's been several long rests. All right. Taskill, give me that death saving throw. All right. 1 success. Okay. So it is the blue ghost's turn. It explodes out of the foliage here. So Thrum, you get your attack because that is.
I believe I do as well.
Okay, yeah.
It'll be a disadvantage because he's in melee and I have a bow.
Yep. And it'll already be a disadvantage because he's invisible.
Yeah. I do have a
Both
hunter's
of us.
mark. I know that doesn't cancel that out, but
No, it does not. It just gives you advantage on survivals, which I would let you use in place of perception to spot him.
it does also give advantage on perception as well.
Oh, okay, then never mind.
That's Miku. It's supposed to be Thrum.
Okay. Let's see. Fergis will hit. And then Thrum will also hit.
So that is 23 points of damage. As I
Alright.
aim low into the neck, right where the sternum kind of area is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's 16 because he was kind of bracing.
Yep. All you guys and your crazy high damage.
Hey,
But
just wait until I
now,
get multi-attack.
oh yeah. Now it is going to.
I assume if we were waiting, I don't get to multi-attack for this,
You
right?
don't get
No,
to-
that
Okay.
would be stupid and very breaking.
It
Yeah.
says in the Dungeon Master guide, I think, or the player's guide, that if you have multi-attack, you can't use it outside of your own turn. So if you hold an action, you only get the one.
Just double checking because that would be
Alright.
sick.
First things first, this is going to be a claw against Nolgrim at advantage. 22 hits.
Yep.
Give me a strength saving throw as you take 17 slashing damage.
Strength saving throw.
All right, you are knocked prone by its pounce ability.
Okay.
It can now make a additional bite attack as a bonus action, and because you are prone, it will be at an advantage. So here is a bite. That'll hit.
Yep.
You take 18 piercing damage.
Mm.
Now it still gets its normal bite and
I'll
its tail
go
attack.
ahead and hit it with a hellish rebuke.
Sure. I still have 2 more attacks after this. So.
Yep. So that's why I'm getting off now because I don't think I'll
Jesus,
survive
before
it.
you die.
Right. So that will be third level, so 4d10 fire damage.
All right. Damage. Does not like that. As the kind of ghostly flames. And now its other bite attack. 27.
Yep.
21 piercing damage.
Okay.
And now
Are
its
you
tail.
out?
Yeah, I'm
Tail.
unconscious.
Oh, okay. Then it'll tail attack Freya. 16.
Miss.
Oh, sorry. It would be 11, so it'd miss anyway because it doesn't have advantage against you. My bad. It's no longer invisible, and Nolgrim, so this thing just explodes out of the jungle. You don't so much see it as you see the shape of it in the trees, as you just suddenly feel just a flurry of bites and claws just lash out at you
Right.
as you go down. And right before you black out, you see that in like all the jungle around you, there's every single one of the dwarves that this thing has killed watching you as you just fall unconscious.
Before I get to do anything. Right there with you, Taskill.
Guilt.
Yep.
Guilt. So, give me a
Shame.
saving throw now that it's your turn.
All right. Death save.
Ooh.
Failure.
6.
All right. That's one failure. It is going to spend a legendary action to take a tail attack against Freya. This will just be a flat attack, no specialness.
Alright.
Natural 1, that'll whiff.
Freya's dodging and weaving.
Yep. Freya.
Alright, first things first, gonna cast a Cure Wounds on Taskill.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't roll.
Didn't roll. Also didn't roll. This is the broken macro, okay.
It's a
1d8
D8 plus your casting.
plus casting ability modifier, which I think is 4.
Unless you cast it at a higher level, then it's like multiple D8s as you go up. But I don't know if artificers get much more than first at this level.
Yeah, they at level 5 they got level 3.
Oh, do they? I thought they only go up to like level 4, or is I'm thinking of something else.
No, they're better than paladins.
Okay. They're like third casters instead of half casters or something.
Yeah. All right. So, Taskill's conscious, still prone but conscious.
And then we are sending in the Steel Defender up here.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna take a bite out of crime.
Oh, you did.
That'll miss.
Well, you win some, you lose some.
Mhm.
The point is now. Oof, we need to get Nolgrim back up.
End of your turn.
Yes. But I got the caster conscious, guys. I got the healer conscious.
Legendary action tail attack. Up, misses Freya again. Man, cannot hit Freya with that tail attack. All right,
Damn, how many legendary actions does it have?
Fergus.
I don't know, but I just wasted a lot of them
I
trying
mean,
to hit me with that
To be
tail.
fair, its first legendary action, and then it had a turn, so then it
Yeah.
refreshed. So,
Yeah.
Fergus.
I thought yeah, never mind. Thinking of something else. I'm
You're
gonna go
thinking legendary
here.
saves.
No, I was thinking of legendary actions sometimes will cost more than just one, depending on what ability it is.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but
So I'm
I
gonna
literally
disengage
have
from-
its least damaging attack and the ability to run. So I feel like none of those are 2 actions.
Yeah, no worries.
Hmm.
I'm gonna disengage to here.
Hmm.
Can't really do anything for Nolgrim as I don't have any potions or anything to feed him. And I will shoot it with my bow.
All right.
I will use a D8 and add that to the attack roll.
Okie doke. That will be 18, which will hit.
19, I think. But either way, it hits.
Either way, it hits.
For 20 points of damage. And then I will action surge and do it again.
All right.
I will do another D8 because I have 4 of those.
Mhm.
20
That'll hit.
for 14 points of damage.
Points of damage.
As I just run back here and just pelt it with a couple blows.
Gives a hissing roar, and it's going to use its legendary action to vanish, becoming invisible and moving. Oh wait, I did it again.
Does it provoke attack of opportunity from Steel
No,
Defender?
its legendary action says it does not provoke an attack of opportunity.
Well,
there we go.
All right, shit.
It's a ghost.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. It's a badass boss for sure.
Miku.
Well, Miku, having seen it there, was going to run over here. You see puffs of spores coming out of him.
Mhm.
He leans down, puts a hand lightly on Nolgrim as he leaps over Nolgrim.
Mhm.
And Nolgrim, somewhere in the mist, you feel someone telling you, "Stay down, my friend, it's okay." And then he takes up a guardian position here, and he's going to ready an action to attack should it reappear.
All right. Thrum.
Thrum will... Oh, that didn't reveal anything.
Yep. Sometimes
I
you
will
just-
yell out that he ran to the northeast.
Mhm.
Thrum will take a 5-foot step and or move 5 feet and ready an action to attack.
Like that means he's coming around this way.
Or he's running.
All right. Taskill, you are conscious. It'll take half your
Mhm.
movement to stand up, but I don't think you're going very far anyway. So
Yeah, stand up, come over here, and cure wounds on Nolgrim.
Does that reset the death saves?
it does.
Okay.
Does it?
Becoming
I thought the death saves were a per day thing, but I couldn't remember. It's been
Nope.
so long.
Nope. It's per going down. I do remember that for a fact.
Again, it's been a while since I've run a game of 5e.
Yeah.
My other group has been.
every time you go
I've
down,
been
you
for a
get a new
while.
set of death saves.
Right?
Yeah.
It's now its turn.
Here it goes.
I mean, if it's not running, it's probably going for me. I did just whip out like 40 points of damage to it.
And you did peel yourself away.
Yeah, you did make yourself the perfect snack for this guy.
No.
I don't know. I have a feeling he wants to eat Thrum now.
You're just a bunch of rocks.
All right. Nolgrim, you're conscious.
Alright. Stand up. Let out a pained groan in the process. And ready a spell for should it appear.
Everyone stay close. We got a better chance up close.
All right.
Where the
Freya.
hell's Fergis? Has anybody seen that bastard?
Freya's gonna take. Ooh. Freya's gonna take one step down, or no. What I'm
Y'all
going to
would,
do is I am going to prepare a spell and then tell Taskill and Nolgrim and Miku, and I guess everyone that hears me, I will say that I'm going to try to immobilize it.
Y'all would notice over your heads there's a pike swinging with a 15-foot radius, just kind of constantly circling around. So stay close if you can.
All right. Fergus.
Heedless of these warnings, I'm gonna move over here and dash to get further distance
Mm-hmm.
and get to here and see if I can do a perception on my way.
Yeah.
Because I have it hunter's mark, so I should be able to.
Yeah. You
Get a better
the Hunter's
chance.
Mark bonus on the spot check.
15. Actually, I'll roll at a superiority die to my perception.
Yeah, absolutely.
18.
You have advantage on it.
I did. I rolled
Oh,
it.
you did.
Yeah.
You did. Okay.
Yeah. You do not spot the blue ghost.
No tracks or anything that I saw.
No.
Okay.
I'm comparing it to its stealth score.
I think that'd be separate from tracking it with a survival check.
So I'm gonna hold my bow in one hand and just draw out my dagger in the other, and just hold that and prepare to strike if it gets near me.
All right. Miku.
All right. Miku is going to. Who's the most hurt now? Step down here. And ready in action to attack.
Okie dokie. Thrum.
All right, that grabbing Miku's token really messed up my line of sight. It took away half.
You can only see what you can see now, I think.
No, I can't see anything for Thrum.
Sometimes that's the problem with giving people multiple tokens.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's
Try moving your token back and forth real quick, see if that'll.
No, I can't see anything from.
I think it's because you're
anything up here.
I think it's 'cause you're in the
see
foliage.
I could see it before I touched the Miku token, and now that I touched Miku, I can't see anything up north. So
yeah, I think
all I wanted to do with him was I wanted to move him back into the group.
Yeah. Also, it's because you're kind of in a little niche of the jungle lighting. Try here.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
I mean, can you see?
Yeah, that cleared up everything.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's really hard to do the dynamic lighting for these jungle trees. Is all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, dynamic lighting for like foliage is a little harder than like walls.
Yeah, it
But
came out as well as it
weird.
could.
It didn't happen until I moved Miku down, and all of a sudden, all of Thrum's vision was
Yeah,
gone.
it's because you were seeing through Miku's eyes rather than Thrum's.
Oh, I got you.
I think after this, I'm gonna just say companions won't have sight, and you can just ask me what they see. Otherwise, stuff like that will get.
Otherwise, it just gets fucky.
Yeah, and what's your eyes? What's your companion's vision?
Yeah, because I don't want to lose it. I really like the feeling with the jungle not being able to see certain areas.
Oh yeah, no, especially with how I designed how the blue ghost fights. I really think that adds a dynamic to it.
Mm-hmm.
Taskill.
Let's go ahead and put Spirit Guardians up as a minefield.
Suddenly, he turned to the party. Turns out he's in a drowned disguise.
Turns out I was the blue ghost.
I'm just so sad.
He was a druid all along, and the blue ghost is his animal companion.
That's a one badass animal companion.
Right.
All right, blue ghost's turn. Rising no one. It does come out of stealth, so it will get its claw attack before you get your prepared attack there, Richard.
Okay.
So
claw
attack.
Yep. Oof. I will use my reaction to expend a superiority die for Scout's Evasion.
What's that do?
I add a D8 to my IAC, which still doesn't work, but I still take half.
I'll let you take.
But it gives me half damage by using this.
Gotcha. Okay,
So
I was about to say
normal damage essentially.
Nat 20, man. So that will be 28 slashing damage, half.
Use 14.
And then give me a strength saving throw to see if you're knocked prone by its pounce.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to avoid the damage,
Nice.
the attack. I was just trying to avoid some damage with that ability.
Nice. All right, so you're not knocked prone. You can get your prepared attack.
Hey guys, where's Fergis?
You just hear me
Can't
scream
see.
as it attacks me.
That'll hit.
I think it ate him.
So that's a total of... I'm not sure if it's immune to poison or not.
It is not.
So 9, 10, 11.
11. All right.
But it's coming
And
out like a wrecking ball.
Yes. It gets its bite attack and its tail attack. It does not get the bonus bite attack because it did not knock you prone. So first up, bite attack.
Miss.
13. Tail attack.
Miss.
Yeah. See? It just needs to get those surprises on you.
And then I just yell out, "It's over here!"
Now it's
It'd
turn.
be over here if you were over here, you moron.
1, 2.
It's got a strangely large frog carrying a book on its back.
4. All right. So, seeing the blue ghost mauling Fergus, Nolgrim's gonna say, "Your streak ends here, ghost." Hit him with the grudge, and then cast. Let's do Mind Spike on him.
All right.
He needs
Love
to
that
give me a
spell.
Wisdom saving throw.
Saving throw.
Yep.
21.
Okay, so he takes half damage. Okay, yeah, so that'll be 48. 13. Unfortunately, I lose the ability. I don't have the ability to track him. Oh,
Yep.
that should also be my grudge adds my proficiency bonus. So 3 more.
It takes half of 13, right? So it takes only 6.
Add 3 to it, so 16. So take 8 because I hit him with my grudge.
All right. And that's it.
That's it.
All right. It is going to legendary action. Turn invisible. And run away.
Just gotta run if we don't give chase.
I'm down for hunting this fucker.
Freya.
Well, if fucking Fergus had been over here, I'd be able to get it in a web.
Everyone,
My
get back over here.
I
We
don't.
can't chase it, you morons.
I don't think it's going to attack us in a group.
Yeah, I didn't
Too
do it
clever
last
for
time.
that.
It ran
We
away
haven't
last
tried
time.
yet.
Yes, we have last time.
Well, it's invisible now, anyways, right?
Yeah, and it ran to the north.
All right. You and the Steel Defender are going north then. I guess if it's not going to attack us in a group,
Then we
You'll
can all
know
die by ourselves.
you guys will know to come in when you hear the grenade go off.
And then it will run away again.
That's the way Freya's going. And then can I prepare my standard action? Because I
Yeah,
just
yep.
moved.
So long as you didn't dash, absolutely.
Yep, then I'm going to prepare to cast Web.
Gotcha. Fergus.
Let's see. Give me one second, I'm checking something. Okay, so I will go up to here,
Mhm.
and I'm going to roll survival to see if I can determine where it went.
Yeah.
Or perception, whichever one. It's the same either way.
Yeah, perception is to spot it if it's hidden. It's not currently hidden, but you can do survival to track it.
21.
Yeah, it seems to be pretty good at concealing itself, but with a 21 and your hunter's mark and everything like that, you do have its trail. It looks like it's beating feet this direction. Judging by like how its feet aren't turning or anything like that, it looks like it's on the retreat.
Okay. So I'll use the rest of my movement there. Bonus action to here and here.
Ignore the wagons. That was for just in case you guys decide to attack that caravan. I just didn't delete them from the map.
The
No,
ghost
no
got
worries.
them already.
Yeah, they're technically not supposed to be there in this encounter, but
And I can't see him, but judging from the angle, I'm just going to try to fire a shot the direction it looks like he's running towards. And I click the back button.
I believe if I remember what I wrote for the rules of I believe this will automatically miss
Probably.
because you can shoot through full cover, but you have to like have a detection if they're there or not.
Actually, I have another idea that probably won't work, but I want to try anyway.
Yeah, sure.
Instead of attacking, I want to use the flute and try to cast Enthrall. If it's within 60 feet, it'll have advantage on this.
Mhm.
But if it's within 60 feet of me, if it fails the save, it is charmed.
Okay. You try it and you don't know what happens.
Yep.
All right. Miku.
All right, Miku is going to move halfway between here and there. Kind of ready and attack again. And he's going to spit out spores to Thrum and say, "Why did the hunters all separate?"
To be fair, he would also know that when you guys are literally gathered up in a big pack with freaking angelic dwarf warriors around you, that's not exactly screaming vulnerable prey.
Yeah, but we want to live, not kill.
Speak for yourself. Nolgrim wants this fucker dead.
Thrum.
All right, Thrum steps there and readies an attack.
Mm-hmm. Taskill.
So I'll move up and ready to
It's a
cross
safe
that.
place.
Okay. It is now its turn, and I will save us several rounds of asking what each of you are doing since we're going over our game time. It is beating feet, and it is fleeing. It has a movement speed of 60, and it can dash, and then on each
Legendary
of your turns,
action.
it's been legendary actioning away. So it's, I mean, you still have your hunter's mark for the rest of the hour, and you can still try to track it, but the encounter itself is over.
Yep. We can decide whether we're going to try to track this thing for the next hour. Probably next session, but
Yeah.
Sure.